All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are live and we have another Throwback Thursday live stream for you guys on the channel this evening as we will be rewatching the 2006 Subway Fresh 500 at the Phoenix International Raceway. This was requested very highly this week during our poll that is out every Monday for which race we will watch every Thursday as far as the classic races go. 48% of the 159 votes as of the end of the poll last night ended up voting for this race of the four that were there, so pretty landslide. So we are going to watch this one. This is one of, I don't want to say this is the first time I've watched this race because I probably did watch this race back in 2006, but I can tell you that I definitely have not rewatched this race and have likely forgotten what has transpired throughout most of this. I do know of the race winner based off of statistical reasons, with just me knowing a lot of stuff about NASCAR and its history of NASCAR, especially the years that I have watched it. But I do know who ends up winning this race. I do not know how they're going to get there exactly. Kind of similar to the Las Vegas race we watched last week where I knew the winner. The only difference is that race, it was before I was born, so I definitely didn't even know. I definitely hadn't watched that race before. It was a pretty good one. It was the inaugural Las Vegas Cup race. But as far as this one, I was definitely watching NASCAR at this time. Just over the years, I forgot about it. So here is the coverage, and it's weird. I fast-forwarded through the pre-race as I usually do, just so we can get this stream in a timely fashion. The races are typically shorter, I should say, on the other hand, because it skips through the commercials and all that. So we're going to watch this, and we're going to have fun with it. But what I was going to say with the broadcast, I see Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds. Where's Darrell Waltrip? Did he commentate this race? I'm about to find out. I don't remember him being out, but maybe he was. I don't know.
Tires will still mean a lot to a race car, but it never fails in this race. We see strategy play out a few
Larry
years
Mack
ago. We watched Matt
with the
Kenseth,
energy.
Robbie Reiser.
Gotta turn that down here. Thanks for everybody tuning in once again, by the way. Hopefully the audio's fine. If you need me to turn it down a little bit, I will. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing go towards Billy Kramer County and Rumpke Creations and others. Welcome into the stream. King Corvo 88, by the way, is the channel for this race. We've watched numerous races on this channel already, so
from daytime to sunset,
hit a subscribe button for him as well. You can watch a bunch of old NASCAR races on your own, right?
On Fox.
Once a week on Thursday, we watch these. Kyle Busch on the pole, second career pole award.
NASCAR Nextel Cup Series race goes to Kyle Busch.
All right.
Fastest qualifier, and he's got a birthday coming up in May. He'll be 21, and that makes him the latest shootout-eligible driver for next
And they had a lot of
February.
races for the Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot Phoenix used to be like the 7th, 8th, 9th race of the season for a while. This was before. I'll pause it for one quick second. I think we're gonna have to turn this down just a little bit on my end. But I was going to say, I did forget, they didn't race all the West Coast tracks in a row like they do now. Like, usually they don't go to Sonoma until the spring still. But, like, they didn't run Phoenix Auto Club, all those races in a row. It was weird. They would go out to Auto Club after Daytona, and then they would run Vegas. And then they'd go back east, run like 2 or 3 races, and then they go back to Phoenix, and then they'd come back, and then they'd go to Texas. They jumped around quite a bit. I don't know why it took them so long to not do that anymore. Financially for the teams, it just didn't make sense, really. Mike George, welcome into the stream also. Hi, Stephen King, 92 Hammer, welcome. How about the Biff on the outside of the front row?
Tony Stewart, who finished fourth.
Got the starting lineup scrolling across the bottom. I like the scrolling
editor of Speedway Illustrated, Dick Berggren.
Starting lineup.
Well, the Busch brothers, Kurt, who drives car number 2, and his little brother Kyle, who drives car number 5, are both favored to win tonight.
Whoa.
Kurt, after all, won the race here last spring, qualified 7th. He's got a good pit stall. But his little brother, oh boy, he has won the pole for tonight's race. He is the defending champion out of last fall. He had the very first pit pick, and he picked this one, pit number 1. Look at this, no one can block him in. So he's going to have great pit stops tonight. Could it be a 1-2 finish for the Busch brothers tonight? Well, maybe so. It's going to see birds.
Well, Dick, and Ryan Newman's first
Like the pit stop sign, Kyle from South Park for Kyle Busch. That's fitting.
Seventh in the points.
I wonder if he handpicked that. His team probably picked it for him.
35 pole positions coming into Phoenix. 2006, he's winless, and he has yet to win a pole. I talked to his crew chief, Matt Borland, this afternoon. He said, you know, in 2002 and 2003, racing and winning almost seemed too easy.
Ryan Newman in a purple car.
I
don't remember this paint scheme.
Just struggled on the intermediate-sized tracks like Phoenix.
Still looking at the starting lineup at the bottom. Somewhat. I missed some guys.
Well, meteorologists say mid-80s to maybe even upper 90s here today, but the NASCAR thermometer reads 9 at 29, as in Casey Kane and Kevin Harvick. They are hot, not just in the desert. Check out Casey Kane. He has been top 5 in the points.
Who's the Ash guy in the 07?
He has 4 top 5
Dave Blaney
finishes,
in the race. Sorry, that's what I was waiting for. I was getting scared. It was getting towards the back half of the field. I'm like, oh, don't tell me he failed to qualify.
He's done that with 3 consecutive top 10 finishes. So did the off week cool him down? You think he took an off week? Come on, when you're that hot. He showed up at Nashville and won the Busch race. He was here yesterday, won that race too. Is there any question as to why he is once again very happy Harvick?
Happy Harvick.
Thanks, Jeannie. Matt will be down off the hill and join us on pit road shortly.
Like the Biffle subway scheme.
FedEx
On the front row in the
racetracks
subway
here.
race.
312 laps, pit road speed.
This is
45
old
miles
Phoenix,
per
by the
hour,
way.
and the
Grass
pit window
Phoenix.
for
Grass
fuel
in the
and
dog
tires
like
around
Phoenix.
75 to
And turns 3 and
85
4.
laps. Now, the keys, beware of the apron. Last
Front
time
stretch
we saw
on what we now
Kyle
know of
Busch,
the
our
back
pole sitter
stretch.
in the Busch race, he got on the apron, shot up the racetrack, and wrecked himself as well as Ron Hornaday. So beware of the apron down in 3 and 4. On target with the adjustments. Remember, we talked
Beware
about
of the
a short
apron.
race, not a lot of opportunities to adjust on
Yeah,
that
this
race
has
car. So
always
you gotta
been
be
one
on
of the
mark
shorter races
every
of the
time you
season.
make adjustments. And track position versus fresh tires. We talked about that at the top of the show. You've got to have a good handling car at the end if you want to make that strategy pay off.
Is Darren Walter not in this broadcast,
More
though?
information on Phoenix International Raceway, including
It's gonna be
DW's
weird
hot
hearing a
spots.
two-man booth with
Log on to
only Larry Mack and
foxsports.com, keyword
Mike Joy.
FedEx. One car will go to
There's
the
no boogity
rear for
boogity
the
boogity
start,
either.
and it's the car that qualified
We're not
third,
getting the boogity
defending
boogity
Nextel
boogity.
Cup champ Tony Stewart. Failure to start the race on the NASCAR designated tires with which he qualified.
NASCAR has a procedure where the top 10 qualifiers, they have to impound their tires, and you have
What?
to start the race.
That's
There was
weird
some
that only the top
confusion as to
10.
What happened to those tires? There
Only
were some
the top
conflicting
10
stories. Bottom line
have
is
to
the
start the
20
race
car
on the
will have to
tires
go
they
to the rear of the
qualified
field.
on. Everybody
Yeah,
outside the
I've
top
heard
10
stories.
doesn't.
I heard every kind of story. That Goodyear poked holes.
I think
in
it's
what they did
universal
when you turn
now.
back in
I think
sometimes.
it's everybody in the
But they did
field.
it by mistake, and I heard that
That's weird that
maybe
they
somebody
cut it
else,
off
I
at
don't
the
know,
top
there's a lot
10.
of rumors going around about those tires.
But the one rumor we can put to bed, he will start the race at the rear of the field.
Yeah, and he will start on the sticker.
Yeah, the current configuration is mainly built for restarts and restarts only. Makes the restarts more exciting. I mean, the actual race itself, once they get into the long green flag run, they don't really use the dog leg. It's pretty much the same.
It is hot today. It is a strong wind that's had the flags out straight from west to east. That wind blowing down the backstretch all day long.
You don't feel much of that in the car here, though. You're pretty much surrounded by grandstands, and you don't get a whole lot of that in the car. Whether it buffs the car around or whether you think it make the driver feel a little more comfortable, it doesn't do you one.
Pit crews can get a bit sandblasted, however.
Oh, yeah, the little whirlwind's been going right here all day.
But one thing you got to be careful.
Believe this is a
with all
night
this wind
race
blowing around.
also.
We see a lot of racetracks is getting debris on those grills that cools the radiator. You don't want that to happen to
Out
you.
west, so starting in kind of like the evening hours. Be a day to night transition.
See
Let's
Greg Biffle there,
do
the 16 car,
this.
buffing those tires in. Well, boys, it's Saturday night. What do
Yeah,
you think?
DW
Let's have a
just got
party,
into the
DW.
booth
Reach
right at the
around,
last
pull
second.
themselves tight. One more time.
All right.
He was in the Hollywood Hotel for a while. That's probably what happened.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
Just in time to give his own command. The classic command. About to send it. There we go.
Boy, Greg Biffle got a rocket shot off turn 2 to take the lead.
Yeah, that high
Yeah,
line, you get a lot of
the
momentum
Biff
off of
leading
that
lap
corner, and
one.
you just pull right around. Kyle Busch, and away he went.
Just like we did in NASCAR 22 yesterday.
Jr.,
Well,
the 8 car.
we
He's
didn't lead
already
lap
making
1. We
moves.
won, though.
Started back in the 11th position, already well up in the top 10. Two-time winner at Phoenix International.
Don't forget, that car ran really well here last year. My brother was driving it, and Michael led a lot of this race in that very race car.
That I do remember.
Tell you what, Kurt Busch in that 2 car, he's already making a little bit of noise right there. Started back in the 7th position, he's already up to 3rd. Defending champion of the race.
You know, the Dodge hadn't won here, Larry, as we documented a number of times. I think tonight that might all change.
And he looked so good in practice on those long runs yesterday.
His owner, Roger Penske, arrived here a few hours ago with his 2
Tony
IndyCar
got
drivers
loose there.
with him after a long
Looked like
night's
it.
flight from Japan.
Yeah, Julio won the race over there yesterday.
You see, Tony Stewart, we're looking at him up there, the orange 20 car, remember, had to start at the rear of the field, and he's sliding around here. Darrell pointed out probably
That's what I
starting on
thought.
brand new tires. The biggest thing they've got to do is play it safe here at the beginning, stay on the lead lap, not get in trouble. You see how fast
Man,
catches
he
race
almost got
cars
into
and
Kyle
going
Petty
by.
just getting into the
Easy to
corner.
get in trouble that way.
He's in a
Back
hurry.
there, there's a lot of spotters.
He has
saying,
not wasted
okay,
any
20
time.
cars coming, give him some room.
Second place, older brother Kurt passed younger brother Kyle.
Old brother,
There you go.
Jeannie.
Well, Greg Biffle on a mission here today, and it's more
Okay.
about staying out there and surviving
We
the
stick
entirety
with
of the
the
race and getting confidence back. Right before this one went green, Doug Richard, the crew chief, came on and said, "We are a championship team. Today is the day we start getting that confidence back. Nice and smooth. Be there at the end."
Well, you know, Jeannie, we watched him yesterday a lot in final practice, and they were not happy with their race car, but it looks like they've made the right adjustments. He was really fast on a few short laps, on a few short runs. Be interesting to see if that car stays consistent for him.
We're riding with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car, and he's back in the 7th position.
Man, Matt got really loose that time in 1 and 2 also.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s
I think this
teammate,
track is a lot
rookie Mark
rougher
Fritz
at this
Jr. in
time,
one
too,
car.
than what it
He
is
just drove
now.
by Kenseth on the last lap through 3 and
Tires
4.
probably
He's up in
degraded
the
quite a
top
bit
5 and
more.
5th.
Older surface. So I think this was still the original
Carl Everett's
surface,
running in
if
fourth.
I'm not mistaken.
2
I could be
seconds
wrong
off
on
the
that.
lead. His lap time's identical to the race leader.
As far as the actual asphalt
Through
itself.
Biffle and the Busch brothers. Just ahead of Mark Truex in the 1.
I think the dog leg used to be a little bit different.
Junior coming in the 8. Matt.
Wally Brown
In its very early years back in 1989, but the asphalt itself around most part of the racetrack, I think that is still the same.
Carl did tell his team the car's a little bit tight, but Bobby Hudson told me the biggest thing they have
Which
to do
would mean
now
that
is
it'd be
settle in,
17 years
not beat
on the
themselves,
surface
and they did
as of this
Texas.
race, if that is the
Y'all
case.
been trying too hard. Just take what you can get and make the most of it. Don't try to do too much too early.
I honestly don't remember this paint
Jimmy
scheme
Johnson
for Ryan
works
Newman, I'm
underneath
not going to
Ryan Newman
lie.
takes the spot away. Tries to bring Brian Vickers with him in the 25. That race is for 9th
Very
place.
underrated Brian Vickers
Stewart,
scheme, by the way, that
started last,
GMAC car.
is up to 35th.
Yeah, you got two kind of guys out there right now. Those that say, hey, I like my car, hope it stays this way. And those that say, my car is junk, I hope it
washed
gets
up.
better.
I'm going to tell you, another car that keeps moving right behind Brian Vickers in the 25 car is Mark Martin in that 6 car. He's been getting about a car a lap. He started back in 18. He's all the way up to 12.
Harvick was like
He's
halfway on the
making some
apron in
noise
1 and
He had a
2.
great run here last
I think
night.
turns
The
1 and
race,
2
that's gotta
was a
pay
lot
off on this
flatter at
racetrack.
this time period than what it is now. Obviously now it'd be turned straight at 4, but that end of the track, in this race specifically in 1
We
and
start
2,
this race in broad daylight.
I think there's more
It's good to
banking
be good
now
at the start of
when
the
they
race,
reconfigured
but the
it also.
nighttime is the right time to be good here. That's when it pays.
Oh, yeah, a lot of these guys are going to be saying, thank the Lord for the nighttime. Forget the day.
Yeah, the track will just have more grip at night. The cars won't slide around quite as much. See Kevin Harvick right there in the 29 car. He's
Gonna
up to the
drop it
13th
backwards in a
position.
hurry.
Been one of the hottest drivers on the circuit. 3 consecutive top 10 finishes over the last 3
Is Sterling
races.
Marlin in the
23rd
14?
tonight, then
Yeah, I
4th.
think so.
And a win
If I remember
going
from my
away
NASCAR
last
07 on
night
the
of Busch
PSP
race.
days, I'm
How
pretty
is
sure
my
he's in the
big doing
14
there, Larry?
car.
The 43 car is up to 15th. Got to keep an eye on my boy tonight. I got a good feeling about it.
But he's on the move because he started back in 21st in his 43 car.
Tony Stewart up
Sterling
7
Marlin in there
spots.
with them in the
I
14.
think he was the only driver that had to start at the rear.
And Greg Biffle finds his margin shrinking just a bit. Kurt Busch closes to within 7/10 of a second. You're watching the Subway Fresh 500.
The The Subway Fresh 500 on Fox is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Subway, drive hard,
Nazim
eat
and
fresh.
Wade Solinsky, thanks for tuning in.
Proud partner of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns.
Grab life by the horns.
And by FedEx, every day is race day.
Quick story, by the way. I went to McDonald's after work. Went to get a
17 laps
large
complete, no
vanilla
change
iced
in the
coffee.
lead.
You know,
It's still Greg Biffle
I don't
over
drink
third,
coffee
pushed
too
by
much.
7/10 of a second.
And
They're now 2 seconds
but
ahead of the
you know,
third place
after a
car.
work day,
Younger brother Kyle
a
and
works
Carl
week,
Edwards.
you know, I'm
And
done. I want to
Mark
make sure I
Truex
have
leading
a little
rookie
extra, you know,
Tony
pep in my
Nemechek
step
in
for the
RB
night.
car.
They
And
made me an
anxious
extra
moment
one by
while we were
accident, so
away
I
with
took them.
Kyle
I drank them both, and I feel like
This
wide
is a
awake
moment,
right
all right.
now.
What happened with Joe
So
got
there's going to be a
loose
lot
off
of
the
energy.
court
What
and
happened
kinda
there?
got sideways in front of Jamie, and Jamie got in the back of him.
Oh, that was
Just
Jamie.
about spun him around.
Jamie, baby. Yeah, Jamie McMurray pulled out a line a little late,
That's a wee bit
trying to
more
pass
than a
Nemechek.
And that's about maybe 150 to 160 miles per hour there when that's
Good
happening.
save by Nemechek, though.
baseball. They call that a
Probably
nice
wasn't
save.
expecting that midway down the front stretch. He did tag the wall,
Credit
too.
for safe right there. How about
I think the wall might have straightened him out a little bit.
Take me out to the ball game. Thank goodness.
Oh, tonight on the pre-race, that's the first time I've seen it. That
Definitely
was
burnt the
great.
rear tires off, but you can see him sliding off turn 4 again, too.
Kevin Harvick? I don't know.
I don't either.
Biffle's
You
led
know,
the first
guys, as I
20.
watch Greg Biffle, our leader, the 16 car, he's led. This will be lap 20. He's
So over
led
20
all
people
lap
watching.
this race.
Appreciate
How
everybody
many
tuning
times
in
this
tonight.
year
Be sure to hit
have
the
we
like button
seen
if you haven't
this?
done so already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Our Phoenix coverage starts tonight on the channel. We got live commentary streams Saturday and Sunday for this weekend's action. Our Xfinity Series live commentary stream will start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the Cup Series on Sunday, we will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for this weekend's NASCAR events. Truck Series will be off this weekend, so no stream tomorrow night. Well, no stream for live commentary tomorrow night. We will actually be hosting a NASCAR 06 stream, Busch Series race at the Auto Club Speedway.
Tony Stewart's finding out how important just
And
now.
that will start
He
at,
has been working hard trying to get past Scott
I think
Wimmer.
7.
He got to the bumper of the
I have it in
Ford,
the
couldn't get
community
past
tab.
it, had to
I'll look
settle
that up
back
real
in.
quick. I think
Stewart
it'll start
went
at
start
7
the back because he's not on the tires
p.m. Eastern
with
Standard
which he
Time.
qualified for the race, has only made it up 11 spots to 30.
Yep, 7.
Now,
That's what I
Denny
thought.
Hamlin started well, but he is drifting back.
That'll
in
be the
field.
events for the rest of the
Steve
weekend.
Burns has more on Hamlin.
And Denny Hamlin back to 25th. He was in 10th, I think, before the commercial break. Already back to 25th. Rookie Denny Hamlin.
One of the plugs, when he keys his mic to talk, we can hear him, and that engine sounds flat. That's exactly how Denny is describing it. He's
engine
also
problems.
keeping a close eye on his gauges, concerned about the power plant.
So
The
there's no
rookie.
question. We're 23 laps into this race right now. Denny Hamlin.
I'm not going to lie, when we do watch these older races, it's kind of weird seeing rookie stripes on guys that are either in NASCAR today or are already retired. Like the veterans that
And I think
were
that just shows
in
you
my
how
childhood, into my
qualified he is.
teen years,
Now, you throw a bad
or
lead
even
back in
now.
the pack, if he had a bad pit selection, and he
It's
had a
weird
bad
seeing
pit
rookie
stall
stripes
over
on their
here,
car
he'd
like
never
on
find his
Hamlin's
way to
today.
the front, because he'd be blocked in on pit road, can't get around cars on the track.
And here comes the leader, Greg Biffle.
We'll find out how good he is here a little bit when Biffle gets in here.
And you know Biffle, when he gets the lead, there is no holding the reins on that horse. He'll lap as many cars as he can, as
Wow.
fast as he can.
A lot of cars
Boy,
in
this is
the
this
heat
is
there.
right here. I've been watching Casey K.
Man, Robbie Gordon sailed it off into the corner.
These guys.
I mean, it worked for him. He actually pulled the cars behind him. It's like somebody got in the back of Dale Jerry. You can see his back bumper.
24th position. Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart will
I was
get
gonna say,
their
is there a
caution
caution?
they
That
need
little
here at
indicator.
lap 25 debris on the racetrack.
Debris.
Piece of debris just past the start-finish line.
Yep, there it is. It is not a phantom debris caution. I was going to say, it felt a little
He
too
was out
early
in the
for a
racing
phantom debris
groove,
caution.
And as cars went past, it got blown over toward the inside of the front stretch wall.
Going back towards the
You know what I'm
track.
saying?
Good eye, NASCAR.
We used to bolt our stuff on a little tighter, I guess.
NASCAR 2006 Classic races are the best.
We're a third of the way through this fuel run right here. I think it's safe to say pit road will probably be
I mean, the
very,
season,
very busy
there were
right now.
definitely
We
some
still
good
have
races
all
that
43
season.
cars
I mean, there's
on
good
the lead
races
lap.
every
All right, you're
season.
Tony Stewart. You stay out
I can't
the
think
track
of a
position
year
or
in
go
NASCAR where there
inside.
wasn't a
I think
good
he comes
race.
on the end and he makes
Like,
on
there-
his
there
crew
are
beat
good
some
races every
cars
year.
off pit road.
Let's find out, starting with Matt.
Carl Edwards in the 99. Now his car
The battle
was
for the
tight
championship kind of
earlier
makes
on.
the
He just got tired. He started to let some guys
makes
go.
the season
Didn't
for
want
sure,
to get
too.
himself in a bad position. Look
That's
for
a Pete
both
Stoltz.
a chassis adjustment. They've already
Classic
made
yellow
an air
flag sound
pressure
effect.
adjustment in the rear
Yeah, that
tires
sounded
and
like
on the
a
left
sprinkler
side as
going
well.
off, honestly.
So we'll see
This
how
one.
that
I don't like
air
this one as
pressure
much as I like the
adjustment
boop
helps
or
free up
whatever the
this race car.
beeping noise was.
Well, Greg Biffle starting 16, just a little bit tight. Some conversation as to how to adjust it because they don't want to over-adjust, obviously, the sun's going down. How about an air in the right rear and then a
Reminded me of those times at the golf courses in high
Cowboys
school
started
when
on the ball,
sprinklers would
drifted
go off.
back to the third position.
during
The
our
front end
practices.
is not gripping as well as he might like. Biffle has already passed him. His brother has passed him before Kyle Busch gets out of his pit. 41 cars on pit road at one time.
Steve?
Well, Mike, this afternoon, Jason Shapiro, the car chief, told me they made 4 adjustments to this race car, not big ones, but small ones.
They've been having the camera on Tony Stewart a lot coming from the back of the field already in this race. I mean, granted, he won the championship the year before, so it's the defending champ starting at the rear of the field.
Big loser on stops, Jamie McMurray.
Probably got a lot to do with it.
Overshot his pit, looking straight into the sun, trying to find his pit box. Biffle's crew with
That dude was pumped about that pit stop.
And that of Carl Edwards. We're working the first caution of the day.
Giving the race car a slap on the rear end.
On Fox.
Like, yeah, get it.
Welcome back under.
We missed the
green,
restart.
Phoenix. Greg Biffle from Kurt and
Come on,
Kyle
Fox.
Busch, the top 3. Martin Truex Jr.
2006, they
great run so
missed
far.
the restart.
Verstappen's fourth, Carl Edwards
Gotta get our abs in.
Kenseth, Earnhardt, Martin,
Tell you what,
Johnson, and Harvick. The top 10.
this is not the first time on these classic race
I'll
live
tell you what,
streams that
Mark
this has
Truex Jr.
happened.
in that one car had a great run at Texas a couple of weeks ago.
Didn't this
Finished
happen the
eighth.
last Fox race we watched at Auto Club? They missed a restart.
Out of 10. Looks like he's got a top 5 car here tonight.
You're right
2013.
about Tony Stewart. They gained Stewart 8 positions.
Telling
on
you, their
pit road.
coverage has always been
Steelers
like
a long
this.
way
I
back.
say it every week we watch a race on Fox, and something happens with the production or something of that nature.
After all that happened,
They always miss something.
I think that's the best.
I feel like people never used to talk about it, but they kind of crap on it now.
You're a better driver than that. Now let's act like it.
He's showing it.
And he's showing it. Sometimes you got to get on the old mule.
He's the meat and the sandwich right now.
It is interesting watching a lot of guys driving on the apron, though. Because you definitely don't see that at Phoenix now. I mean, turns 1 and 2 to a certain extent, but not the way they're doing it here. Like, both ends of the racetrack, they have their left sides, like, down on the apron. Like, half the car on the apron, half of it above. Some drivers are just staying completely above the apron. It's interesting. Zachary K, thanks for tuning in.
Meanwhile, in the Yates camp, got a little busy
man.
here with Elliott Sadler, who's 24th, right ahead of teammate
Deep
Dale
in the
Jarrett.
field, Robert
And
Yates
it looks like a
Ford.
little right side damage, perhaps, on Sadler's fusion.
It does look like that, doesn't
Let's
it?
have a look here.
You get in the wall? He definitely got in the wall. I can see the...
off the tires. You can see that. Probably just slid her right
Yeah.
up against the fence ever so slightly.
They're
lightly, politely.
It's over there in turn 2 where you run out of racetrack almost every lap. Late exit.
Wonder what these boys would do if it was like it was about 4 or 5 years ago when it was 20 foot narrow.
I was
They
gonna
moved it out
say.
quite a bit.
Now you know why.
How much is that doggy on the quarter panel?
You mean the one with the broken tail?
The one with the waggly sheet metal.
Couple DEI cars, Truex.
2 DEI cars.
Earnhart.
Truex moves aside for Dale Jr. Dick Berggren.
Let him go.
Yeah, Junior's
Let him
had a
go
good day
just
for
to
Jones
cut off
to
Mark
play
Martin.
the cars a little bit loose in
I mean,
and a little bit tight in
that
the
could have been a more
center.
perfect
But there has
transition,
been an
honestly.
awful
I'm
lot
surprised he
of
got
work
down
done
to the
on
bottom
that
as quickly as he
number 8
did.
car Today, they changed the entire braking
Mark probably cut him a
system
little
in
bit
that
of
automobile.
slack. He
So
was
much
also
so
side by
that
side with
Tony
Kenseth,
Ranger
which could have held him up just a bit for
was
Truex
late
to
for the
get
drivers'
down.
meeting. Now, that only results in a little bit of a fine.
I have no clue who that Sherman guy is in the 49 car, or Ash in the
They just
02.
wanted to make sure after last night with
There's a
several
couple
people
names
had
in
great
this race I
problems
actually
with
do
the
not
race.
remember
But Junior
from the
had
back
none.
market
He is
cars.
now riding in 5th. He started in 11th.
Cartini, thanks for tuning
times
in.
guys have come here and kind of ignored the brakes. They get in a race and you just don't.
Shout out to
realize how much
Sterling
brake
Marlin
you
in that
use, particularly
14 car
getting
for
into
MB2
turn one.
and the
you
top
can't run
10.
any
He's
tape
been
on
there
your
the whole
brake
race
this
so
year.
far.
Yeah, I mean, you've got these long straightaways, and you pull a very high gear here that doesn't let you
I've
slow
seen
down
Sterling
when you roll out
Marlin
the throttle.
post,
So definitely this is one of the tracks you can get in more trouble.
Post
breaking
Chip
than you can
Ganassi
in
Racing
Austin.
having a good run.
Sterling Marlin having a good run in the early going here. Takes his waste management 14 underneath the DeWalt Ford of Matt
That's an
Kenseth.
ugly looking car, though, I will
Kenseth
say that
has
much.
lost about 4 or 5 positions just in the last 2 laps in the 17 car.
2002 winner here.
I mean, I like TPC Scottsdale and all,
First singular virtual crew chief question.
but
Will the point
that's
lead
an ugly
change
thing.
hands? Jimmy Johnson right now, based how they're running, will be 19 up on Matt Kenseth.
Noah Coleman, thanks
Text
for
the word
tuning
crew
in.
to 191 on your
Really was never the same after he broke his neck. Yeah, unfortunately.
Singular, and you'll be
He's having a good run here.
Payday at the
I mean, this could have been his last good run. You never
You got to
know.
be real cautious with
I mean,
here, Larry.
you could know, I guess, if you knew his stats the rest of the 2006 season.
But you mess around with that air pressure with 8 degrees or so of camber in that right front.
I don't even think this team was around in 2007.
Included.
And remember, camber is how much they lean the wheels in at the top of the right front. Helps the car turn the more you lean it in.
Kenseth's really wide. He was out of the groove there. Harvick gets by him.
There you see Kenseth in the 17 losing another spot to Kevin Harvick in the 29. Got to fall in the clutches of Casey
Clint
Kane
Boyer's
in the
a
9
rookie.
as well.
Back.
Harvick in the 29 just moved back inside the top 10. Now his help that he needed was entry.
Jeff Gordon, 21st right now.
The center better, just way too tight.
This is the second race in a row we've seen Jeff Gordon running outside the top 20. Saw that in our Las Vegas Classic race in 1998 last week. He was like 15th and 25th the whole race. At Auto Club, too, him and Johnson were both outside the top 20 the whole time. This is becoming a trend. Our classic live commentary stream, or not live commentary, but our classic Throwback Thursday live streams, 3 weeks in a row, we've seen Hendrick cars struggling. Like badly.
What he had last year, but you know, a lot of times we come here, we complain about.
Man, that was close to making contact.
It's been a big issue here for years.
Clint all over the back of those two.
Grandstand down here in turns 1 and 2.
Kendrick lets them both go. Kendrick's car is not
good right now.
Greg Biffle's led every lap so far, though. Kyle Busch got the second on the restart. Edwards still in the top 5. He's kind of been fourth the whole race. The top 4 have pretty much been there the whole race. All the passing and battling for positions pretty much going from 5th on back.
Rookies in the top 15 in points. We talked about Martin Truex Jr., Clint Boyer in the 07's another one, and Denny Hamlin in 11. All rookies in the top 15 in points.
44 laps complete as Tony Stewart pulls alongside his former teammate Bobby Labonte.
Tony's already up to 18.
Stewart has climbed into the top 20. He is now 18th.
Slowly working his way up
in the
there.
desert by 4/10 of a second.
Oh, Kyle Busch is catching Biffle. That camera angle, I didn't realize how close he was. He was right on his back bumper. Might have a new leader. They come back from the break. I would not be shocked if that was the case. So one caution so far for debris at lap 27. Incident-free thus far.
And the number 8 car. Still sizzling.
Dale Jr. flag, Casey King colors.
The outside road took the lead from the
Bedroom was a NASCAR room.
Kyle Busch, but Kyle Busch.
Yep, I called it. Kyle Busch in the lead. Come back from the commercial. He closed the gap on Biffle right before the break.
Yeah, you see right there, they're coming down the back straightaway.
Oh, Biffle
He just
let
really
him
drives
go.
it right underneath Greg Biffle right there, and Greg kind of
There's no way he drove it in that much deeper than him. I think Biffle realized he closed in pretty quick on him. He was just going to let him go.
Had to go to the back of the pack all the way up to
Kyle
16,
Busch.
so but just a little bit more on qualifying third and failure to start a qualifying
Where's
tires
Tony up
about
to
that
now?
move.
So that's something that NASCAR felt like they had to do. I mean, I'm
Be
a little bit
interesting.
surprised
Oh,
right
no,
now.
no,
Greg,
Dave
22
Blaney
car,
in the
looks
wall.
like he's gotten into the outside
We got a
wall,
yeller.
damage to the right flank.
Dang. Flat tire for Dave
Let's
Blaney.
rejoin Larry, Darrell.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, Dave Blaney, just the car never turned. Darrell went off into turn 1 and straight
Yeah, that thing
to the
is
wall
flat.
on the Caterpillar
Both the
Dodge.
right front corner panel and the
Front
tire.
down.
Ooh, man. Left a little yellow paint on that blue
We're
wall.
out with Dale Earnhardt Jr. here. We're getting a report that he was feeling something he didn't like.
Jeff
so
Gordon's
this
still
caution, I think, will be a good break for him. And I think this is another big break for Tony Stewart. The 20 had moved up to 16th. If his boys can buy him some more spots on pit road, he's going to be close to the top 10 before you know it.
Dave Blaney was up to
Strategy, Larry. Let
29th.
the pit crew do it. I'll take, you know,
Started
I'll tear
in
the car up out here, y'all move me up
41st.
in the, pits.
He was slowly working his way
It's
up.
much easier to pass him on pit road than out on the racetrack.
Make up seconds
And we
down
got,
there.
got some
Only
more
make
pit
up hundreds on the
stops.
track.
Look at that entry to pit road at Phoenix. I don't remember it being like kind of angled like that.
Mark Martin is doing a great job. He
I do not
started
remember that
18th.
at all.
He was tight early. He said now the car is freed up. It's getting faster and faster. Small adjustment. Half pound out of the right rear. Matt.
Kind of a tight angle to get in.
Drivers currently in the top 5. So the car was really balanced well, had a four-wheel drift down to 3 and 4. They're going to make
Randy Bowman, thanks for tuning in.
adjustment.
Here before Toyota in the Cup Series. This is also
Greg
true.
Biffle, the 16 was chattering. That is the tire they put a half amount of air pressure.
Oh, no,
on.
actually, I think,
You better believe it is coming
I think
back out.
MWR was Toyota at this time. I could be wrong on that, but I think Michael Waltrip in the 55 cars in a Toyota.
Alan Gustafson called the changes. Bush said the car is absolutely perfect coming off the corners, just a little bit tight in the center. He's got a great race car.
Look at the left front on Carl Edwards' car. He was exiting his pit fast as someone was coming in kind of slow, and I didn't see who the other car was. Edwards clipped it, and he
Oh, man. Contact on pit road for Edwards. That's tough. He was in 4th.
Not taking a chance, Mike. They're bringing him
Had a
back
pretty
down
good
pit
car,
road.
him and Biffle
You
to
can see
Roush.
the cosmetic damage to that left front on his first
Yeah, there's definitely
stop.
quite a bit of
He had
damage there. It
very
looked like he
close
cracked
call
the left
with both
front.
the 96 and 66, Green and Reigns. Didn't make any
Dang.
contact that time, but certainly contact now. Not taking a chance. Trying to work their way back up in this championship point standings. Luckily, though, they
Oh,
worked
Dodge.
out this
You're
little
right.
fender
You are
beat
right.
out, but they're gonna
I
lose
knew
a
it
lot
wasn't
of track
Chevy.
position.
had similar problems in Atlanta. So Carl Edwards, left front, that'll upset
Yeah, now
the
that you
aero on
say
that
that,
car, and
you are
that
correct.
was all that track
Did
position.
you hear the
Today
bad
he had
news?
just as good a car.
Did you hear the bad news on the 5 car?
Look at how high up Kyle Busch's splitter is up off the ground.
And so he'll go to the tail end of the line. For the
And look at the air pressure in that left front tire. I mean, this
I was
thing
about
is
to point that out before Darrell Waltrip did. Left front almost looks flat how low the air pressure is on the 5. There she goes. Back.
Nope.
At least he caught it in a decent spot. He didn't hit the wall too
Awareness
hard.
camera on Blaney's car.
He should be able to continue the race.
We'll be right back. We're under caution in Phoenix.
Definitely lost a lap or two though. They're missing.
We're back under green.
It's the
Frank
second
Biffle
time,
leading
Fox.
his teammate Mark Martin.
They've
Dale
missed
Jr.,
2 restarts
Kurt
because of a
Busch, and
commercial
Jimmy
break so
Johnson.
far.
Tony Stewart got 2 more spots on pit road and another one
Second
on the
time they
racetrack.
missed
He's
a
up to
restart.
13.
Could you imagine
Well,
if that
now
happened
Kyle
nowadays?
Busch
How
and
many
Carl
people would be
Edwards
so
have to fight
ticked
their
off?
way
Like,
from the
Twitter
back
would
of
be
the
an
field.
absolute
One thing that's getting
firestorm.
kinda clear to me
And
is
NASCAR
Biffle
missed-
isn't getting any better.
or
Not that
Fox
he
missed
needed
2
to. He's the best
restarts.
car. But these guys behind him are making changes every pit stop and closing the gap down.
They missed 2
There's Mark
restarts.
Martin and now
We've
Dale
only had
Jr.
2
breathing down
cautions.
his
They
neck.
missed both
Yeah, in fact, Mark
restarts.
Martin, Dale Earnhardt
Very
Jr. and
commercial.
Tony Stewart just ran their fastest lap of this race 2 laps ago. The thing I'm noticing.
Watch
turn
ACC
1 and
tournament.
2
Yeah, I've
is
got
in
my
full
Michigan,
shade now. 3 and
Dylan
4 still
Larkin
in daylight.
hockey
This track
jersey on
cools
today
down.
because Michigan
Grip
was
gets
playing their
down, the
first
speeds go
game
up.
of the Big Ten
And
tournament.
grip helps a
Probably
bad
was going to
car
have to
more
win to
than it
get
helps a
into the
good car.
NCAA tournament,
that may not
and they
sound
lost
right,
to
but the car
Rutgers,
cars off a
who I
little
call
bit. That
Rugrats
cooler track
because I
temperature
think
will
it's
help it
funny.
the
So
most.
they lost to Rugrats today. I wasn't expecting too much out of them in the tournament anyway. Oh man, Biffle got really loose. Oh my gosh, Kurt Busch did too.
It's Kurt Busch, the 2, got into that
Biffle got
outside
loose,
wall,
Kurt
just
Busch
like we
got
saw
loose,
Elliott
Kurt
Sadler.
ended up in the wall,
Right
Biffle
there
did
in that
not.
shot, I saw 3 different cars skim the wall.
Boy, he pushed that right front fender way in too.
That's tough.
It's not rubbing, but it sure is going to lose some downforce.
Clint Boyer up to 6, having a solid run. Truex 8th. Couple of the rookies showing out in this
There's
one.
Kurt
And then
Busch
Hamlin had
and his
engine
crew chief
problems.
right now, and he's actually operating without his
Because he
regular
was in the
crew
top
chief.
10
Roy
at the
McCauley had
start.
surgery on
Tony Stewart's up to
Tuesday.
13.
His Busch crew chief, Matt Gimble, is looking after this car, telling him a little bit tight when I knocked that right front fender in, just like we
Restarts
did
are the
today.
one thing they don't miss nowadays. This is very true.
Tell you what, the car right behind Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer in that 07 car.
ESPN
up
did it
into
once in
the-
a while.
Right there, about to get in the top 5. He has been on a roll ever since the
Yeah,
start
it
of this
just
race
mind
as
boggles
well.
me, honestly.
Clint's 13th in the points, only 9
Oh, Mark Martin.
out of 10. There goes Mark Martin in the 6th car. He's been getting off the corner so much better than Greg Biffle. Watch right there, through the middle, on the exit of the corner.
Now they're teammates, but Biffle is not making it easy for Mark Martin.
There he did. He just pulled over and let him go by. It's hard to
Oh,
make that
Dale's
pass
gonna
on
sneak
front
in
two
there
over
before
there.
Biffle
You
can
need
get
to
down.
Drift all the way out to the wall. Really keep up
See,
with
that's the
speed.
problem with trying to let him go when you got somebody else breathing down your neck, too. Now he's going to get brake trained if somebody else closes in if he can't muscle his way back to the bottom. By the way, fast pit stop at the 16 to get into the lead again. Well, I guess Kyle Busch had that pit
Biffle
road
will run
penalty.
you hard,
I think he
but
was
will
speeding that
give
pit
you
road.
room once you get there. And there is
6
up to
lead
the
changes
door
already. He's
better.
actually quite a bit.
See how the greater run he got off the turn 2 over there with that high
67
line?
laps
A lot of speed
for
up there.
Phoenix.
He When you get down on the bottom, it kind of bogs you down.
It's a racy kind of race so far. Dale Jr., by the way, slowly working himself up through the field.
Singular
He's got a pretty good car in this one.
Question, will we have a new point leader today? And you said, wow, by a 3-1 margin.
Talladega on the custom schedule season, race 10.
When you participate
So
in
we got a
singular
couple
virtual
more
crew
races.
chief,
I don't
automatic
know if I'll get
chance
to it
win
next week or not.
Jeff Burton's payday
It'll be the week
when we
after.
go to Daytona in July.
There's that side-by-side battle for fifth. We talked about Clint Boyer in the 07. He drives by Kurt Busch in the 2. Updates you on Denny Hamlin in 11. They've continued to be on pit road every caution. Right now, he's 4 laps down in the 11 car. That's Casey Kane in the 9.
Alan Williams, welcome into the stream. Also, got 35 people watching. Appreciate everybody tuned in tonight. Be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. Throwback Thursdays every Thursday on the channel. We watch an old race depending on what racetrack NASCAR is going to that weekend. So next week we will watch an Atlanta Throwback. A lot of classic races at that racetrack at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we will be watching one of them. You get to vote in the community tab every Monday for which race we will watch on a poll. So be sure to vote on Mondays on the channel. The polls stay open all the way through Wednesday, so you have 3 days to vote, but I usually get them up sometime Monday morning or early Monday afternoon.
Just a little bit. Sometimes that vibration will make you think you got a tire problem.
Also, live commentary again this weekend, Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the NASCAR Xfinity race that will go live. That will be on FS1 this week, and on the Big Fox, we will be having our live commentary stream for the Cup Series at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Has picked up 6, and Jamie McMurray plus.
That's crazy. Biggest movers of the race, 17, and then Schrader was 6, McMurray with 2. So hard to pass at this track. Mark Martin's been able to do it pretty well.
21 car. He's up to the 19th position right now. Kurt Busch in the 2 car.
I think that was just Ford's now that I think about it. Because Tony Stewart started at the tail end of the field, and he's up pretty darn near the top 10 right now. Clint Boyer up the fifth having a great run. I say that astonishingly because he's a rookie.
Wood, who had hip replacement surgery, resting well at home, watching tonight. And to he and Leonard, the Wood brothers, inducted tonight in
Woodhead
into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Only the 5th racers ever to be so honored. A great accomplishment, and great to see the Wood brothers recognized.
Old Atlanta or the old Atlanta? Both.
I mean, from the back there, Pearson days,
Old Atlanta and old Atlanta.
I mean, they have done it all, and they're still around to tell about it. I love that.
There will be races from both on the poll next
Right
week.
behind their car with
So it's going to be up to you guys exactly which one.
right there. I
I already know the races I'm throwing in there next week. But Atlanta had a lot of classic races, though.
They can't help it. There's just too much. There's not enough room.
That's Jeff Burton on
I
the
can only put
inside.
5 of them in a poll at once, so that's a tough thing.
What's that Prilosec colors?
I have a pretty good idea of what 5 I'll be
That's my
putting
favorite
in.
product. I use it a lot, Larry.
Since you've been in the booth with me.
BMW made 206. Thanks for tuning in here, T. Welcome into the stream also.
Yaley's, I think he scraped it again that time. You know, we have the Darlington Stripe. What are we going to call this off turn 2 at Phoenix?
Well, I know our fans, they think we're going to have a new points leader.
I am not from Washington. I'm actually from Ohio.
48 car. I think they're making a little noise.
This race is
about
just
that
off
poll
of
that's taken
YouTube, so I'm
because he
guessing
just took the third
either he got
position away
the
from
person that
Dale
uploaded this
Earnhardt.
race onto
Comes with a 15-point
YouTube
lead.
is either from Washington or it was just the only
But on the other
broadcast they
flip
could
side,
find of the
his
race to upload it.
teammate,
Or maybe the
Jeff
best
Gordon
quality.
in 27 position.
Probably all factored
This is
in.
one of only 4 tracks he's not won at. I don't think that's going to change tonight unless something really turns around.
No,
Wow,
Carl Edwards
26,
catching a
Jeff
Romano
Gordon.
Edwards damaged the front end of his car on pit
That is
stops.
crazy.
Had to come from the back. He's now 28th. And Kyle Busch, who was penalized to the back for speeding on pit row, he has climbed to 31st.
Jimmy Johnson's in 3rd. That's the weird thing. It's like Johnson's in 3rd and Jeff Gordon's all the way back in 28th.
As Mark Martin leads Greg Biffle by 1 second.
You don't see Hendrick cars usually that far off. They're always so equal with each other. It's weird seeing that from them.
Gentlemen,
Especially with a guy at this point, NASCAR hadn't won a championship yet. Jimmy Johnson, he had a 4-time champ running 28th.
let's go racing, boys!
83 laps complete in Phoenix.
I mean, I do have high definition on for my settings also. So actually, I have it on 480p right now. Oh, that's all the better it goes.
Mark Martin, leader by a second. Well,
But I do have the display a little brighter for you guys, so usually your guys' picture is always better than mine, whether it's for the video game streams or this. So when I play the NASCAR classic games like that on our channel, when I do that, the quality isn't as good for me, say, on my TV. It's still, I mean, good because I've got a nice TV, but for you guys, the picture itself is going to be brighter, so a little darker on my end.
Right now, he's 5 laps down, so this is not a battle for position.
Let's check with Steve Burns.
And Mike Tony Stewart's made a great charge back to the front. He told his team, Greg Zimbardelli, the crew chief, I need help off the course.
Truex slipped up the track. I thought he was going to get into the 11. He definitely lifted, though, because Hamlin gapped him quite a bit.
Both rear tires and made a track bar adjustment. It's working right now.
Thanks, Steve. Now the 2 cars that went to the back.
Denny Hamlin rallied to get back in the top 10, or is he a lap down? I thought he was having engine problems over there.
He is up to 26th, and Kyle Busch too fast.
Heck of a comeback if he did. He had to have taken 2 tires. Oh yeah, he's in last. Never mind. Probably restarted at the front of the field because he's a lap down. I don't know though because we missed the restarts. I wouldn't know if that was the case or not.
When told by his crew chief,
But that was probably the case.
Bush was in complete disbelief. All those cars I passed, he said, and I'm only 28. Now he's got 27 more to go to get to the front.
Oh, Scott Riggs has crashed.
Scott Riggs has crashed his
head-on
on the
impact.
back straightaway.
No safer barrier either.
Lap 88.
Keep going, come on.
Third caution of the day.
The pace car coming here.
This
Yeah,
team
don't
was
hit the
just
pace car.
Getting some momentum, 2 consecutive
Look
top
out,
10
Jimmy.
finishes after finishing 7th in Texas a couple of weeks ago, but a lot of damage to the front.
Tried to get out of the way. He
Never
can't
have 10
turn the car.
Right.
There he goes.
Crashed here last night in the Busch race.
Kenny Wallace will get the free pass.
Car got a nose job.
1 lap down.
Man, Jeff Gordon's 30th.
Around the racetrack.
That's just, it's so odd to see something like that.
Probably could have saved the thing if you didn't get off.
I thought it was bad last week. He was like 15th to 25th the whole race.
We've seen so
For
many
1998,
cars
Jeff
get
Gordon.
loose off
That's
turn
pretty
2
bad.
out there.
But then
Breaks loose
this
all by
week,
himself. Across the grass you talked about there, and
just
went up there and just
crunch that
kissed
nose.
the inside wall.
Looked like Kyle Petty did in practice.
It wasn't that hard of an impact, but
He lost his car the very same way coming off the corner. Thank you.
Don't abide me, don't abide me, don't abide me. Clear high. All clear, all clear.
Got a lot of damage to the old 10 car.
Well, we've got 36 cars on the lead lap. Pit road is open. It's been about 30 laps since we were on pit road, so I would say it'll be a very busy place once again. A lot of cars still sliding around. Probably a big break for Kurt Busch in that too, even though they'll probably give up some positions, give them an opportunity to work on that right front fender that got damaged.
Give me 4 of them, Mr. Feelgood.
Outsider,
please.
thanks for tuning
Real
in.
quickly.
Pit road is open. Mark Martin will lead them in. Here's Steve.
Mark Martin has said that for the beginning of this race, this car has gone from being a little tight to a little loose. The only adjustment they'll make to that number 6,
Ah!
a half pound out of the right rear tire. Mark
Steve
Martin
Burns turned
says
into
the
a robot
car
there
is
for a second.
Very fast right now at this point in the race. Matt.
Steve Burns be
Jimmy
lagging.
Johnson in the 48 car, you can already see the wrench in the back window, the track bar adjustment completed, the same adjustment they made in the last time.
It is kind of weird seeing so many guys over the wall now compared, or in this compared to now. They have 7 guys over the wall. Looks like it. 8 guys over the wall. Forgot about the catch can, man.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. headed in 5th position, but several cars have beaten him off pit road.
Less bodies, it is a lot
That
safer.
right front tire, didn't like the way that thing feels on the racetrack.
It's amazing how fast teams got with pit stops, even with less people on pit road,
I
too.
think trying to lead a lap and get 5 points. Looks like Elliott Sadler in the 38.
Testament to these pit crews.
David Strimmy in the 40 car. The Again, they were way back
How
in
much
the
practice
field,
into the week.
Why not? Streamy's coming to pit
Do
road
what they
now.
do
Here's
on a
the
race
Saturday
day.
trying to get his 5 points. This was the race off pit road just a second ago. You see
Biffle's pit crew's been on it. They've wanted him to race out of the pits every single time, whether he's been in first or second.
Top 10s, and if he keeps going, maybe the lap leader when they leave here tonight.
Would it be Mark?
Roger.
Mark's the answer to all questions.
Phoenix tonight.
I like that pedigree paint scheme, by the way, from Sadler. I actually have one. I have one. Ellie Sadler pedigree paint scheme. Not this one specifically.
Is sponsored by Singular Racing.
I think the one I have is 2005.
New 2006 Ford Fusion. Put your life in drive. By Napa Auto Parts. Napa. Get the good stuff. And by Mountain Dew Code Red.
Most of these
Do
drivers
a
are
kick
retired.
cherry and do the do.
Yeah, it's crazy. Most of them are. It doesn't feel like 2006 was 17 years ago either, though. It's so wild.
58 laps led so far, but you see the Tony Stewart, and we've been keeping an eye all the way up to 8, and the pit stops and the pit crews playing a more important role on who's near the front.
Well, pit crews are always important. I think when you see Greg Biffle,
Is this right now? Yeah, he missed another restart.
who lost some positions on pit road, get around Jimmy Johnson.
This is the Miss Every Restart on live television 500 at Phoenix. I was going to say that you showed a bunch of cameras when they came back from the break again.
Moving from the back of the pack all the way back to where now.
Had 3 cautions and we missed the restart after all 3.
The pit crews are very important, keeping you up front, making you a lot of passes you don't have to do on the racetrack.
Sure, you make that mistake every now and then. Maybe let it slide 3 times in one race. Let alone one race in the first 95 laps.
Was Clint Boyer. He has now jumped to 4th place as Dale Jr. makes the pass on Casey Kane for 5th. Got pretty busy there the first couple laps, including 3 wide in turn 1.
Yeah, if you
well, that would have been nice to see. I'm busting their chops.
That's what he did.
I'm not actually mad about it. I just feel like if I get animated about it.
Now he sits in 4th.
Very possibly had the
Makes the
best
situation seem funnier looking back on it.
maybe his teammate Kevin
3 wide on the restart. Didn't get a replay of it. Didn't see it live either.
Sure about. Had to go to the rear of the field and then was involved in a wreck. But definitely had the best car. I talked to his crew this morning. I said, guys, the biggest thing
Matt Hunter, thanks for tuning in.
Is get last night out of Clint.
Like Throwback
system.
Thursday
Looks like it's out.
content.
Yeah, he had a
Preferred
great
current Phoenix configuration.
What happened.
Chances of multiple
Our
rules.
Allstate Good Hands move of the day is
Just wish they moved the start finish line after the doggos. Gotcha.
Pit stop.
I could see that. I think the reason why they don't do that is because of the rules on the restart. You can't go to the apron. Oh,
22.
look out, look out.
That is, I don't know what that guy in the 22 car was thinking.
That was kind of scary to look at. I'm not
Nice
gonna lie.
save.
But I'm
He's
gonna tell you
laying,
what, I
like,
can't
halfway
stress
out on
enough
pit
how
road.
hard these teams compete against each other.
Like, hey,
but they're
watch
always
your
there to
feet,
help.
bud.
So nice
He saved that
movement to
man's
left there.
ankles.
On behalf of his team, Allstate will donate
I'd take him out for
$1,000
dinner after the race if he did that.
Racing School, Allstate official insurance sponsor of NASCAR.
Oh, you a lunch.
How about Kyle Busch? Coming
Save
back
that man's
from a pit
season.
road speeding penalty, he and Carl Edwards
And arthritis
side
when he's
by
60.
side, but a lot of traffic in front of him.
Oh, trouble here. Round goes to 55 and a bunch of other cars.
Oh, what? We got our crash.
Holy cow.
Cut to it. Oh, Kyle Busch, no!
I believe
That was way after the wreck. The yellow was out, and then Busch just got dumped, I think.
There is nowhere to go.
This got in the back of Michael. That was all the way.
Oh my gosh, that car is absolutely destroyed. Elliott Sadler.
Sadler's car is junk, and the red flag
Wow.
has come out here in Phoenix as the
Red
track
flag.
was
What happened?
completely blocked. Nemechek is involved.
Kyle Busch
Reed
had
Sorensen
such a fast
is
car.
involved. Michael Waltrip's car
There are some
is
hard
heavily
impacts that we
crashed,
missed.
and all drivers have been ordered to stop right where they are.
Wow.
You just saw
Michael
a quick shot of Kyle Busch in the 5 car. Same thing happened. We just had talked about Clint Boyer last night. And remember, Kyle Busch was penalized for speeding on pit road after having a car that led this race, had to go to the rear of the field, just like Clint Boyer last night. And this is what has happened.
The caution
to him
was
being
out
in the back of the
what
field.
felt like an eternity, and then Busch went around.
What was it, Todd?
There's a lot of heavy impacts.
Never mind.
No,
Yeah.
you don't go there.
I won't.
Stick your finger in a rattlesnake's mouth, you can't get mad because it bites you.
Joe Nemechek
I like that-
pulls
I
into
like
a
that
stop.
analogy
Let's see how
from,
that got started.
Walter
Well, we heard that on
Brown.
the radio. Somebody
Ooh,
saying, I'm not sure who
Sorensen.
it was.
Sorensen hit
But Kyle got
hard.
into the back of Michael.
41 car. He had an awkward angle. No safer barrier, by the way, where Sorensen hit, I believe.
You're riding with Kyle.
They only had it, like, in the turns. So I think he hit it on the straightaway part. Oh, he had help. Who was this that got in the back of him?
We saw
Kyle Petty.
Clint Boyer when the 32 car didn't go.
Kyle Petty got into Waltrip and turned him.
Boyer did and got into the back.
That's incredible.
Let's listen to Michael and see if the car gets loose under foot.
Kind of held up by people in front of me.
A lot of guys getting loose in the middle.
I
mean,
he's trying to stay off the
I was going to say, Michael probably... Oh, man, that's... Jesus.
Hard leg.
There might have been a safer barrier where Sorensen hit, because Waltrip hit the safer barrier, it looked like. Thank goodness, because Sorensen had an awkward angle getting into the wall. Ooh. Oh, that was way after the restart.
Him and Casey Mears in the 42 car.
I think he cut his left rear tire, because I noticed his left rear was flat. After the caution, he made contact with Casey Mears, and he cut his tire. Oddly enough, Casey Mears will be driving that car literally 2
He
seasons
just gets
later.
in a little high. Casey was underneath him, forced him high. Got in there. Not
That's
enough
tough for
grip,
that to
and
happen
the car just came
so
around.
long after the accident.
Now, you're riding with Joe Nemechek.
Radio.
Daryl, one thing that's
I like
so
that
hard
from Darryl
to see
Waltrip. Got more
in
than
the
a
initial
vibration
contact
now.
between Kyle Petty and Michael Waltrip is
Kinda
whether
feeling
or
a
not
vibration.
Michael
A wreck in front of
lost
you.
forward bite.
Oh,
And
Kyle.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch is heated.
Not happy with Casey Mears for the contact that ended up
Just
Kyle
ran into
spinning.
Casey under red flag. And then drove away.
And Kyle's out of his car.
He hit him under red flag and then drove away. Classic Kyle
Daryl,
Busch.
it's hard to tell from any camera angle whether Michael
That's the
broke
Kyle
traction
Busch that
and
everybody
Kyle
hated.
into him, or whether Michael was off the gas.
Boy, have things changed over the years.
Michael was right up on Jeremy Mayfield.
Bobby
And-
Birch,
and Michael was
1000,
trying to stay
David
off of
Ehawk,
Jeremy,
thanks for tuning
and
in.
in the process, he probably got run into from behind.
Man,
because
Walter
he
got
couldn't
hit
go.
hard from behind.
You know, the
Who?
biggest
I'm trying to
thing
figure out who
with
hit
55
him
car,
from
remember,
behind.
we've
Was it
been
the
talking about
38
it right there on
or the
verge
01?
of
I think it was
just
the
barely
38.
being
Sadler
in the
had a
top
lot of
35
damage.
and owner points. He
And
could
then the
fall
01
out
probably
of the
ran
top
into the back of the
35 points
38
going
if I
to a
had to
place where
guess.
you're at the mercy of your
So he had
equipment next week to
a lot of damage to the back end of the
Kyle
front.
Petty.
Yeah, he didn't qualify
Sadler.
with the flip at Daytona, so
Red flag.
not a good night for the old
You know it's a big wreck
The track
when there's a
was
red
blocked by
flag
that crash, so
at
we
Phoenix.
are under the red flag in Phoenix.
Yeah, honestly, it looked like Waltrip lifted trying to stay off of, I think it was Mayfield in the 19. And then I think that's what caused the accordion. It was just a racing deal, really, because he was kind of underneath him and then probably lifted trying to give him room, and then he got turned from Petty behind him because Petty was right there. Once Waltrip was sideways, there was nowhere for anybody else to go, and they just all piled into each other. Stu Isaac, thanks for tuning in also.
Glad to have you with us Saturday.
Could you imagine
in
how many
Arizona.
wins Kyle Busch would have if he stayed with Hendrick?
We have yet to see night.
I mean, Joe Gibbs Racing
so far, Tony
was just
Stewart
as strong,
qualified
honestly, in the
third, had to
2010s
struggle
as
back in the
Hendrick,
pack
so
because of tire problems.
I don't think it would have
Yeah,
changed
he's not
his
starting
career
the tire
trajectory
as
too
he's supposed
much.
to. He had to go to the back of the pack, made his way back up. And again, we see a guy taking that lead early on against Greg Biffle. That's Kyle Busch in the 5, going by Biffle for the lead.
Busch led 7 laps. Stewart in the top
Honestly,
10,
he could have been
currently
playing
winning
second and third
9,
fiddle to Jimmy
54.
Johnson and Jeff Gordon the rest of his career. Could have less wins than if he went to JGR and had.
And that is
Once
Dave
Tony
Blaney
left,
into the
obviously,
wall.
like,
Kurt Busch, when he
Kyle
did,
Busch was
lost
probably
out.
getting
So
the best
did
stuff
Carl
at
Edwards.
JGR up until like a year or two ago.
Front fender had to come back to pit road. You see the crew right now working feverishly to repair that front fender. He was able to do that, and he made his way back up into the top 20 already.
Back on lap 87, Scott Riggs in the 10 car, having some problems, hit across the grass.
That's sun glare, by the way, off the exit at turn 4. Whew.
And then on lap 100,
That probably didn't help everybody trying to miss. Oh, yeah, that I saw the 38 pop the back of the 55
And there's the onboard look, Michael Waltrip's point of view.
right there. That hard hit right before the end. I think that was the 38.
45 with Kyle Busch. Now, this is a separate incident, guys. Going down into turn 1, the 5 gets into the 42.
It's tough to tell whose fault that was when they made contact between
number 5.
42 and the 5.
And that's what brought out the red
Kyle
flag.
definitely doesn't
Since
think it
then,
was
of
his
course,
fault.
the
I hope
piece
we
of
get a
race
Kyle
train
Busch
was stopped
interview.
back
I
to the
want a
track
Kyle
was
Busch
blocked,
interview.
and we didn't
The way he
were
was
able to
seated.
show it there, but you saw
I'll fast
Kyle
forward
Busch
through the
will
red
overtake
flag.
Casey Mears
I'm
said
going to
both
find Kyle
Busch's
Busch's
crew
interview
chief
if we
will
get
have
one,
to
though.
report to NASCAR after the race, so he's obviously upset.
Yeah, he's
That might be
obviously
must
upset.
see.
Again, he's going to have to go to the big red truck and sit down and talk to John Darby and probably Mike Helton about his actions because they're not going to put up with that right now.
Let's check it out. Not here. We got a long way to race tonight
A long
here.
way.
Let's check in with Michael Waltrip. Jeannie Zalasko is standing by with him.
Yeah, a long way to race, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like Michael will be taking part in too much of it.
I'll let
I'm
this
watching
Michael
you
Waltrip
watch the
interview
monitor,
go
shaking
first.
your head as well. You still trying to figure out what happened?
No, I know what happened. I was passing, I was up beside Jeremy in the Napa car and just got run over. I don't know who was behind me, and I don't know why they would have done that, but put an end to our night on our Best Western Domino Self Express Napa car. I got to say all that stuff because I've been like under the radar all year long, not having any luck.
I can't imagine you under the radar.
Well, I don't like being that, and we had a good car. We started last, and we'd gotten up in the middle of them. We were working on it.
That
and
tall joke?
Jeannie, I just can't understand. You know, I'm racing beside a guy, and you know, I can run into him if I want. It just freaks me out how somebody could just run you over. But you know, that's the way it goes. I'm a big boy. We'll go to Talladega. At Daytona, I had the slowest car there. Got out qualified by Morgan Shepherd, but yet was still able to lead the shootout and run up front. So. I'm at a loss. I'm upset, but you know, we're hitting it. We're gonna work on it. We're gonna fix it.
All right. Thank you for the time. I'm glad you're here.
Let's crank this thing.
Let's just do that.
Oh,
Wrap that
now we'll
surround
crank it
sound
up with
all
a
the way
restart.
Let you know when we're done.
They didn't miss the restart this time. They had a red flag to get all the ad breaks in. So they weren't going to miss this. After Chatterley, welcome into the stream also. A sweet, sweet sound. Kind of the Greg Biffle, Mark Martin show right now.
Mark Martin, your new leader at lap 106 from teammate Greg Biffle. Jeannie Zalasko in the garage where Kyle Busch has declined to be interviewed.
Oh, dang it.
Joe Nemechek has a
Kyle Busch declined the interview.
race streak of running at the finish, Jeannie.
Why,
Is
Kyle?
that streak over?
I have mine to go find.
Get back with that in a moment. Kyle Busch declined to be interviewed because he's climbed back into his race car, trying to get back out on the track.
Okay, that's fine.
And there's a look at Joe as they try to get his Army Chevrolet back into battle.
Declined the
Well, look at
interview
that
because he
right
got
there.
back into
He's
the
working
car.
hard to keep that streak alive.
Well, Larry, of course,
That's
you know,
explainable.
That top 35 thing, you're down there in that range.
That-
You
that's
gotta
a
be
reasonable
back up
reason
there
to
every
decline
point
the
you
interview.
can. Going to
I thought he
Talladega
was
this week, you
like
don't
just
wanna be out of the
tipped
top
off in the
35.
hauler or
Yeah,
something
right now,
after the
Joe
race.
in the L1 car would be 29th in the points.
So it wouldn't take much, you know, to slip back there, and then you'd have to qualify.
Dave Blaney's still in the
That's
lead
just
lap,
a
by the
terrible
way,
place to end up.
or at least back in
Yeah,
the
I
lead
get a
lap now,
sense. We
just by
talked
blowing
about
the right
this
front
at the top
tire
of the show.
earlier.
You guys talked about it in the
Hit
pre-race.
the wall.
Greg Biffle's car was so good when this race started, and the racetrack was really slick, but it looks like they're almost losing the handle on it, not keeping up with the adjustments.
I just didn't like the way that. Remember yesterday we rode in the
Jimmy
car with him a
Jones.
lot, and on the long run the car would really get slow down a lot, and it looks like that something's going on with it on these long runs.
I'm going to tell you what, who's keeping up with this racetrack right now? Mark Martin, Pat Tryson in that 6 car. You see right there, this is the big difference here. How much the track has cooled down. Over 10 degrees.
Wow,
Again, it just
13
gives a lot of
degree
grip.
air
The
temp
seats pick
difference.
up,
Or
and if
track.
your car was set up for
I
a
was
very
looking-
slick
never mind, I was
racetrack,
looking at that
it could be
weird.
way too tight right now. The car.
Forget what I was saying.
Well, Rusty Wallace is the all-time lap leader here with 868 laps, and Mark's not too far behind. He might close that gap down a little bit tonight.
Now, Jimmy Johnson kind of was a little late to the throttle there at turn 2, so Clint Boyer dropped to the bottom to try to take advantage. Biffle is right
Boyer
there
up to
in junior.
third.
And
He was really good on
build a
the
little
shorter
distance
tracks
on
like this, though,
coming
with RCR.
into turn 3.
New Hampshire,
But
Richmond.
Boyer and Biffle go at it side by
Phoenix.
side.
between 1 and 2, we watched those 3 cars, and this is a flat short track run, 3 different grooves through that end of the racetrack.
Yo, Junior trying to pass Boyer on the outside. This will be impressive if he does it. He had a good run on him. Got a good drive off. Took the rookie to school.
Down here in 3 and 4.
Great move by Earnhardt.
Driving with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8
Boyer
car,
couldn't get
just moved
by
into
the
fourth
16, and
position
Dale
by
passed him on the
Boyer
top.
in the 07. Right behind Boyer is Junior's teammate Mark Truex Jr. in the 1 car.
Is that Bobby Labonte in the top
20
10?
had to start this race in the rear of the field because of a tire infraction from qualifying.
Not the interstate batteries.
He has worked his way up to the 8th in the DW. There's the 43 car, Bobby Labonte.
By the way, I saw something on Twitter. I don't know how true it is or not because I didn't see what the source was. I saw this a day or 2 ago, but Jimmy Johnson running the throwback race at Darlington, going to be throwing it back to a John Andretti 2002 Cheerios paint scheme, which looks very similar to that Cheerios scheme, honestly, on the 43 of Bobby Labonte's right now.
Back in the garage. I think we've got
Looks good.
Let's try and get back with Jeannie.
Like me, those yellow and blue
a lot of guys
cars.
have good excuses for not wanting to do interviews. Kyle Busch getting back in the car. Joe Nemechek having
Hence
to get
what
back
I'm wearing right now,
How about
but
Elliott Sadler? He's
always been a fan of
right now, but just
I got a lot of them. A lot of my die
die
casts.
He's got a hammer in his hand.
Blue,
and he was
gold,
in there
purple,
with just
gold.
The rest of the guys got a fire suit on zip, tied around his
I don't
waist.
have a.
He's been getting his
I have a
time
Cheerios
here.
die
He's
cast, but it's
like,
an
"Kids,
Austin
right
Dillon.
now, I
It's
gotta get
yellow
this
and
garbage,
black.
gotta get it back out there." What a lot of the guys keep telling me, though, is this happened at the worst possible moment. Because if you check out where the sun is at, if you look at the in-car from Michael, you can see all they got was an eye full of sunshine when all this unfolded. So none of them really know what happened until they check out the video again.
Is that a Kansas race or a Texas race where Junior fell in for Kyle?
You just take a lot of frustration out on that race car that's all being up. So you
I
get
think it was Kansas for some reason.
Here's
Well,
the
Jeff
battle
Gordon's
right
moved
here
up a
between
little
Jeff
bit. He's
Gordon
gone
and
from
the
30th
24,
to
Dale Jarrett
21st.
in the 88th. This is a battle for the 20th position.
It has been a
Scott
rough
Miller
race for
still
Jeff
on the lead
Gordon.
lap as well.
Yeah, they just haven't made the right adjustments.
Okay,
on that
he'll
24
dominate this
yet.
race a
He's,
couple seasons after
He's just
that.
not happy with that car at all.
We'll get his Phoenix win eventually.
Right behind Wimmer, Casey Mears in the 42 car. Remember, he was involved in that wreck with Kyle Busch.
F in the chat for Jeff Gordon.
Robbie Gordon there looks like he's coming on pit road for something.
F in the chat for Robbie
Pretty
Gordon.
slow.
Yeah, he's much slower, I think, than even 45 miles per hour right now.
Sounds like it's got a cylinder down.
Gordon was in the top 30. Does not go to the garage. Goes to pit road. We'll update you. We learn what the problem is. Third place, Dale Jr. working over
Yeah,
Greg
Biffle's
Biffle.
definitely fading. She kind of had far and away the best car very
match
early.
of the top 10 is Junior
Now he's
completes
slipping
the
back
pass.
in
2
traffic.
Roush cars, 1 Hendrick car out of 4, 2 DEI
Losing
cars
that
out
vital
of 2,
track position.
2 Richard Childress
Is that
Chevys
Jeff
out
Gordon
of
wearing
3,
out
1
DJ's
Joe
bumper?
Chevy out of 3, 1 Evernham Dodge out of 3, and 1 Petty Dodge out of 2. That's the makeup of
Gordon
our
getting
top 10.
impatient. He's
Pretty
tired of being
evenly
back
distributed.
outside the top 20.
Matt?
Jeff Gordon, who finished third here 1 year ago, had higher expectations coming in. Just
I'm sure he did.
But they've been struggling from the
I think
get-go.
anybody at Hendrick
You see him
Motorsports would have
working
higher
outside
expectations
Dale
than to run
Jarrett. He
30th.
has been loose everywhere most of the night, but he says the thing now really took off on the last run. Still now, they need to work on the balance a little more. It's a little tight down in the center, but they are making headway on this 24 car.
Credit to Dave Blaney. I thought his race was over when he blew it right in front. He's just a couple spots behind Gordon right now on the lead lap. Speaking of those blue and yellow paint schemes, this Best Buy car, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love it. Got an Elliott Sadler, number 19 Best Buy car.
10th spot.
2000, man, I can't remember what year it is that I got. Either, I want to say it's 2010. It's actually autographed too.
Position, but he has dropped all the way back to 10. 2 problems with the car right now. One of them, up brake vibration. The other, the car is loose from the center lock. Kane, who won in Texas, the car problems tonight in Arizona.
Now Kurt Busch. And this conversation among he and his father, Kurt Chief, his team.
Kurt's radio.
9, trying to pass somebody. Somebody's passing me. I mean, I don't want those 2 different. Good time. You're doing good.
That was Roger Penske, his car owner, who's had quite a weekend. IRL in Japan, and he's up there on the spotter stand tonight.
And it sounded like Kurt was a little frustrated because the spotter apparently wasn't giving him the information he needed. Like the 9 car was underneath of me, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I think he needed more information from the spotter.
And the other thing, we had Kurt on our trackside show on Friday. He says, you know what, I just want to have a race where I'm not involved in the midst of the last 3 races. He has been involved with incidents with other drivers. He said he just wants a clean race.
And he had a perfectly good
we got a modified Elliott Sadler coming out of the
Here's
pits.
the answer to our question on Joe Nemechek.
I still love watching them.
Complete his 40th straight
This
race.
is like NASCAR's
US
version of an
Army
IMSA
Chevy
race.
minus the front fenders and nose piece back in the race.
Races were longer. We had modifieds racing with the Cup cars. There's one. Oh, it's actually Nemechek. I thought it was Sadler.
And I'm getting myself in trouble trying to make up the difference when I need to let the car do the work.
You know, we talked about it a few laps ago. Greg Biffle in the 16.
I mean, it doesn't even look safe anymore.
On so many occasions,
like looking back on it,
going off in
the wheels exposed like that.
Kevin Harvick in the 29 goes by. And remember, Greg Biffle led about the first 47 laps of this race, but starting to go backwards just a little bit. But Matt Yoakum, that 29, he keeps going forward.
Todd Barrier, his crew chief, told him, Larry Mack, about 3 laps ago, your lap time is just as good as the leader. Harvick slowly making his way up to the front, started 15th tonight. He said the car was stupid tight, is how he described it earlier in the race, but they have made a host.
Man, he had all 4 tires down on the apron. Harvick's slowly moving forward. I mean, well, Biffle's going backwards, too. I think Harvick's still about 6th. Tony Stewart got in the top 10 pretty quick, but he's kind of stalled out right around like 7th and 9th the whole time. He hasn't been able to break the top 5.
And guesses it. Stupid tight. Getting those left side tires down on the apron.
A lot of Chevys in the top 10 outside of the fact that Mark Martin's leading. I guess Harvick's fifth.
Beware of the apron in 3 and 4. He got some cars in trouble last night. Shot him up the racetrack.
Yeah, Martin and Biffle are the only Fords in the top 10.
Biffle,
oh my gosh, Biffle just got really loose off turn 4. Did you guys see that?
He's using all that apron to make it do it.
A lot of grip down.
He is struggling right now.
And Greg Biffle right behind him. His car almost got away from him trying to keep up with Harvick on that lap.
You know
I was going to say.
Forrest Gump said about stupid.
Stupid is what stupid does.
I can't.
Okay. There's Biffle in a little slide. Left black marks coming off turn 4 that last time by. From a controlled slide. Greg Biffle right now back in the 6th position.
DVB is a game changer. Yes, it is.
Definitely
can't be getting away with that anymore.
Scott Wimmer there. Once, twice.
I think the splitter's required, like if they ever had to replace, like if it was damaged enough, I think they have to replace it and put a whole new
The
one on
Subway
that.
Fresh 500 on Fox is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Subway, drive hard, eat fresh.
And he can't steer the middle of the corner of your screen.
And we
Yes,
welcome you
sir.
back to the Subway
You are
Fresh
correct on that.
500 here on Fox, sponsored by Subway, drive hard and eat fresh. And Mark Martin.
Consistently over 40 people watch the stream tonight. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will be hosting a live stream this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Another live commentary stream for the real NASCAR races, as we do every weekend right here on the channel. Every weekend I don't go to the track. Haven't been to one yet this year. So, first race I plan on going to is Coda in a couple of weeks.
Jr. for 5th place. Greg led early on, and he's been kind of
2 weeks from this weekend away from that race.
But looks like maybe
so next 2 weekends, still be giving you guys live commentary, Truck Xfinity Cup Series. I will be doing live commentary for the week of Coda for the Truck and Xfinity, but I will be at the Cup race that Sunday afternoon. So the plan for me is to do live commentary on Saturday for the doubleheader between the Trucks and Xfinity, but then on Sunday for the Cup race I'll be at the race. So we will not have live commentary that Sunday, but race highlight videos for the grandstands any race I go to in person. So there is still at-track content from the track that weekend, but live commentary streams, though, you can still plan on having a couple that weekend. Again, this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Xfinity Cup. Xfinity race will start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel and at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday for the Cup side.
Now you just have to give them the right stuff and work with the crew, work with the car.
These Throwback Thursday streams every Thursday. Bobby Labonte's having a solid run right now. He's moving forward, too. I mean, Dale Jr.'s got a fast car. He passed him. He gets by Truex. Up to 6th.
Thanks, Jeannie. If Labonte can finish in the top 10. It should vault him forward 5 positions rather, in the Nextel Cup standings.
Robbie Loomis right there, and right now Bobby Labonte is by far the top running Dodge, and as DW mentioned earlier in the show, Dodge has never won here.
Yeah, Sterling Marlin faded once he got closer to the nighttime, but Bobby Labonte turned it on
here in Phoenix.
for RPM.
The DLP Chevy.
I think it was actually Petty Enterprise at this time, Steve.
Getting past Dale Jarrett and Jamie McMurray coming in.
I mean, the fact that him and Kyle Petty are in the same equipment, and Kyle Petty's back in 27.
These boys, they've got to go now because
they're about similar in age at this time, too.
And they're only about 7 to 8 seconds from being lapped by our leader, Mark Martin, into 6.
Daryl, let's drive along a little bit with Tony Raines because he's been a busy fellow at work tonight.
Well, you hear me every now and then talk about chopping wood. Well, watch him. He's going to chop a whole bunch of it real fast.
Chopping wood.
Got a big old handful. Juking on it. It's a great shot. Car is
Wasn't
really
too
tight.
bad
You
that
see
time.
Really tug it to the left. He's got 2 hands full right there. Pulling hard.
Really tight.
That right hand and push it down. That left one is underneath there pulling the steering wheel.
I feel like chopping wood would be loose.
Daryl, the thing I notice, every time he gets up on the straightaway, the first thing he does is he checks that mirror.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even though you got a spotter, he's talking to you all the time. There you go. That's chopping right there.
Yeah. That's tough when you're loose on one end of the track and tight on the other. That's very difficult to fix. Because you can fix one corner with an adjustment. It's tough to fix them both.
As he goes past Casey Kane, this moves Edwards back up into the top 10 in the Office Depot Ford.
Yeah, it's taken him almost 90 laps from the
Both
rear of the
corners
field
at this
to go
track
back
so
into the
different
top
from each
10.
other,
There's
too.
no question.
Even
If they
today.
had to have a mistake on pit road, have it in the early part of the race where you can fight your way back. Here he is back in the top 10, in 10. Show, Steve Burns talked about Ryan Newman in the 12 car, that they're just wanting to get this season turned around, and he's just kind of quietly hanging out in the top 15. Right now, he's in the 13th position, Ryan Newman in the 12 car.
I tell you, a guy that I just realized after hitting the wall down here in turn 1 with a blown right front tire, has bounced back.
Dave Blaney
in the 22 car up to 19.
Let's go, Dave.
Moving forward.
I thought his race is done. He's up to 19th. Round of applause for my guy, Dave Blaney.
We saw his crew members all up under it, working on it on pit road, and they have done a great job of getting him fixed
Proving
up,
us Ohioans that we could do some work.
Their very first top 10 finish of the season. Their best
when the odds are
14th,
against us.
Or 17th, actually, back at Martinsville last month.
Now there's only 2 cars.
Yeah, he blew it right front, hit the wall very early in this race.
Robbie Gordon, Kyle
You can
Busch,
see
Elliott
that the right side of the
Sedgwick,
car's
Scott
pancaked.
Briggs are in the garage.
Yeah, this was
What
earlier.
happened to Blaney?
I mean, he goes down in turn 1. And
I've never really seen that where somebody blows the right front, they hit the wall,
Man, that's a hard hit.
and then they come back, and I mean, he's still on the lead lap in 19th. I think he's outrunning Jeff Gordon. Oh, here comes Kyle Busch back in the race. I think he's like keeping up with Jeff Gordon after blowing the right front. That's how slow Gordon is in this race. It's also a testament to how good Dave Blaney is in this race specifically with his comeback.
Of course, Kyle comes in here.
Let's go, Dave.
In the points.
That's my guy. Him and Biffle.
Now, they are going to, now that Kyle
Jesse
is
Wilson,
back
thanks
on
for
track,
tuning in.
apart from the incident, he is going to get black flag.
Is that this race, Dad, had season tickets back when Top Row 44, turn 1, good memories. Robert, good guy. This time, Busch Series 2, 21 Reese's car. Yeah, that Reese's paint scheme, by the way. That's an OG Harvick scheme.
Penalty box. Mark Martin, your leader at lap 146 of the Subway Fresh.
Mark Martin dominating this race right now. Biffle led for about the first 50, then Martin kind of creeped in. Now Biffle's like, oh wow, Bobby Labonte's up to 50, just past Biffle during the break.
Jimmy Johnson.
Way to go, Bobby. Bobby Labonte gonna get a top 5 for Petty Enterprise.
Top 5, he passed Greg Biffle a lap ago to move into 5th.
We I remember him having decent runs in the 43 car. He wasn't past his prime yet. He was getting there. He was definitely not as consistent as he once was, but he can get some good runs and decent equipment. It wasn't like Petty Enterprise was a race-winning ride. I mean, it's kind of the way it is now.
For the 6th position, and Greg Biffle continues to slide back.
That shot we saw there, that brake rotor,
we're getting by
glowing red to see how much heat.
Yeah, this is the longest green flag run of the race. They haven't gotten to green flag stops yet, but they've. Well, that red flag was at lap 100.
Use a lot of brakes here.
So Stewart
went green shortly thereafter, lap-wise. So.
Starting this race in the back of the field, but Steve, the one thing he's not done today is led this race. Yeah.
You know, Mike, it has not been easy for Tony Stewart. They've been complaining of he has of a tight race car. He's told crew chief Greg Zipadelli right after the red flag, he said, I'm having trouble getting the car to cut in the middle of 3 or 4 on early exit when I first pick up the gas pedal. He said it's very tight at the start of the run, but now that he's into the 6th position, the car is getting better the longer it runs.
Probably just the tires wearing out itself, making the car looser, air pressure building up, obviously.
Right now is the fastest car on the racetrack, and here comes Carl Edwards charging up.
Good comeback for Edwards. Had to drop to the back. He had contact on pit road earlier.
After fender damage, forced him to restart at the back.
He was in 4th before that happened.
This long run is making a lot of guys look good, Larry. I mean,
it is interesting to see the other Roush cars getting better as the race goes on, and Greg Biffle has gotten worse.
He's moving up pretty well too, and Blaney's moved up a couple more spots to 17.
Gordon's up to 15th, by the way. He was 30th on speed at one point. Dave Blaney up to 17th. Let's go, Dave. So he got a top 15 in him after blowing a tire. Showing some pace.
His lap times are considerably slower than the leader.
I don't know how many cars are on the lead lap, though. This has been a long green flag run. Something scares me that there aren't many cars on the lead lap. It is only 1 mile. Oh, my gosh. Got another modified out there. Elliott Sadler. There is no way Elliott Sadler's running minimum speed. They just flew around him.
In the top 15, had a great run here a year ago.
I think he's going to get black flag. I mean, they just absolutely blew around him. They gapped him by like 2 seconds and a half a lap.
The wounded car of Elliott Sadler. And that means now that from the big wreck at lap 100, the only car that has not returned to the racetrack are Reed Sorensen and Michael Waltrip. Robbie Gordon's car now out of the race.
Oh, I thought we had an accident there for a second. I saw somebody smoking. I think it was Jeff Burton. 31.
The Subway Fresh 500 on Fox is sponsored by
smoking going into turn 3.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
That was a huge tire lockup.
Great service and great rates. You can get it all from State Farm. By Subway Restaurants. Subway. Drive hard. Eat fresh.
Hot wings in the oven. I almost went to Buffalo Wild Wings after work to bring some home. I knew I was going to be late for the stream, though, if I had to go out of my way to go pick it up, so that's why I didn't do it.
Mark Martin has led
Maybe I'll go this
81
weekend.
laps tonight. He is out front of Jimmy Johnson by 2.2 seconds. That's the
Red Wings play Saturday and oh no, Biffle. Oh, I think he's just short pitting.
And here is Biffle.
Yeah, he's short pitting.
Now this is a scheduled green flag.
That scared me for a
stop.
second.
Right there at that window.
Watch there be a caution. He's gonna get trapped the lap down.
89, so this is about that 75 lap window.
Jeannie?
Boy, this is not a lap too soon for Greg Biffle. I mentioned he was not liking the way the car was handling in the right front. They have been counting him down lap by lap. More and more laps.
Wow, Dale Jr.'s really fell back too. He's in 15th. He restarted in the top 5. I mean, Biffle was fading, but he was still at 7th when he pitted.
Jimmy Johnson came on the
Jimmy's
radio
in
about
early.
a lap ago and said,
From, what was he in, 2nd?
The car sounds silent and it sits in the pit stall. They're making the chassis adjustment. You see them spray the ether near the pool box and try to get this car refired.
I was going to say, though, I'm a big hockey fan, for those of you that don't know.
The car has not fired. Wrong ballot. The car chief gets it in.
So during the NASCAR offseason, I'm watching a lot of hockey, and I love this point of the year, too, because I get NASCAR on the weekends, and during the week I can just watch the Red Wings, and they're in a playoff race right now, but they played the Bruins, best team in the league, both Saturday and Sunday, but both games are at 1 and 1:30, I believe. And our Xfinity stream doesn't start till 4:30, so that game will probably get done in time. I don't think the game's going to be over early enough Sunday before we go live at 3. so I won't be able to catch all of it, but I'll be able to catch some of it. So yeah, I'll probably have to get to Buffalo Wild Wings, bringing it back to the house, watching the game on Saturday, and then streaming right after.
That's what you do. But he was on the apron a little too far around the corner, all the way to the exit of turn 4. He loses that position to Matt Kenson. Right now, Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, I'm a big hockey fan.
He's in the
I got into it around 2007, 2008 when the Wings and Penguins went to back Stanley Cups. So I got to see the Red Wings win a championship while it's actually, I mean, they've won 3 of them since I've been alive, but
took his car to the garage.
I was too young either to remember or had watched it. I don't remember watching hockey before 07, 08, so I've been pretty much into it ever since.
25 miles per hour all the way down this pit road. It starts in turn 4, ends over in turn 2. Here comes Tony Stewart, the 20 car, as well as Dale
Bruins are your brother's team. They're so good this year. They're going to be tough to beat, honestly. They are so good. I mean, they've been good the last couple of years, and they've been like right there. Colorado's been really good in the West. They're still going to be tough to beat in the Western Conference. These are probably the 2 best teams from the best team from each conference. Boston this season, if they win tonight, which I'm hoping they do because I have them in a parlay to win tonight. But if they win tonight, they're gonna have 50 wins already. And I think they still have like 16 games left this season. That's ridiculous. I think they still have a shot to go for the record. I think the most wins in a single season, 62, if I remember correctly. They're on pace to potentially break the NHL record for the most wins in a single season.
And here's the leader, Mark Martin, coming in, Dick.
They're having that good of a year. They started like 16-0 at home or something ridiculous. I was taking them in parlays every single time they played at home because I knew they would never lose until they ended up losing. And now they're on a 10-game win streak again. I have them score in the first period to win the game, and what else? In the over-under for 7.5 goals total at under. Because a lot of the games they have been winning in their streak have been defensive games. They're winning like 4-1 a lot, 4-2, 3-1, 3-2. A lot of lower scoring games, well, medium scoring games. Or they're blowing a team out like 5-1, whatever, but they're not giving up a lot of goals. So I'm rooting for Boston.
Well, the 07 of Clint Boyer, he has been very happy with his car all day, and they tell me in his pit, you know,
I hit yesterday for like, how much did I win? Like $370?
Pretty much what's going to happen.
Today I'd win about the same on this single game parlay too. I'm surprised though. This was on like multiple games last night. I only went with the over/under. I went solely single game parlay though today on the Bruins. To win, they were like minus 164 at home against Edmonton, who they literally just beat during this win streak 3-2. I think like a week or a week and a half ago. I think it was a week and a half ago because it's still a month of February at the time.
Jamie McMurray, Brent Sherman, Kyle Petty.
But yeah, I was like,
Barrett, Travis Paul.
with those odds and how good of a streak they're on right now, and they're at home, give me the Bruins. They've lost 4 games at home all year. And they literally have already played like almost 60 games, over 60 games. It's crazy. Not all 60 at home. They probably played like just over 30 at home, but still. Only lost 4 times. Give me the Bruins.
Casey Kane speeds past Blaney. Kane on new tires.
I need to check that actually.
Blaney out to lead a few laps.
Because I'm talking about it.
Stop is completed by Robbie Reiser's crew.
They need to bring that 22 in the pits. You're giving up track position on old tires, Dave. You've made yourself up to 16th before the pit stops.
Stayed out, and they got a caution that helped them stay on the lead lap and get a lot of track position.
So the cars that have not
He's banking on there being a caution. I don't like this because he was so good. He got up to 16th, and now he's going to be sacrificing a lot of positioning. And because of the long green flag run, he might end up falling a lap down when they cycle through. J.J. Yaley up to second. He hasn't pit yet, though.
Just goes right by Yaley in the 18 interstate.
And here comes Blaney on pit road now, y'all.
Okay, Blaney's pitting.
So Dave Blaney in the cat.
He led though. Maybe that's why they stayed out. Led a lap, 5 bonus points come in.
Was hard in the wall back at lap 54.
He led a lap after blowing a right front tire. That's impressive enough. And the fact he drove that thing up to 16 too.
his Dodge dealer's Dodge.
Go, Dave. Come on, clean stop, boys. Clean stop. No speeding penalty.
The years tell me some older drivers, they wreck the car, they work on it, get it fixed, they take it home, and they find
taking
out
an awfully
things
long
about
time
it
with that left front.
It ran better after they wrecked it. They found out things about it when they got it home and said, well, we ought to try that, and it made the car better.
Now, Mark Martin in the 6 just took the lead back from J.J. Yaley in the 18 car, but remember, Yaley still has to make that green flag.
I wonder if
stop
Yaley
here
actually got a
probably
lap
the next
led
4 or
in.
5 laps.
I think he did because Blaney was pitted towards the front of pit road. So Yaley probably led a lap right before Mark got back to
He's going to
lead.
go from leading the race probably to a lap and a half down once he makes his stop.
But
Blaney 11th. I don't think he's off pit road yet. There's no way. He was 16th.
Man, if you can sit out there
And he
lead
stayed
couple
out a
laps
handful of
and,
laps longer, so he's probably going to cycle
talk about him,
out.
that's
He
a
was
big
just
deal.
behind Earnhardt's
So it took about a
17th.
10
I wouldn't be
lap
surprised
window
if he's
for
like
all
right
the
around
leaders to make their
19th,
green
20th.
flag stop. So now they're set if we stay green for another 75 or 80 laps.
Kurt Busch back in 22nd.
178 complete, 134
Yeah,
to go
pit
in
road
the
speeding
Arizona
penalty early in the
Desert.
race, but he
You're
is.
watching the Subway Fresh
Oh no, that was
Drive
Kyle
live
Busch. My
on
bad,
Fox.
not Kurt. Yeah, Kurt was a contender very early. Went to 9th. And he is just, he's outside the top 20.
And the track is blocked. There is nowhere to go.
It just freaks me out how
Go,
somebody can run you over.
check this. Oh, my bad, Bruin. I was thinking they started at 7.
Afternoon has turned tonight in Phoenix, Arizona.
I was thinking the game started at 7. It hasn't even
Picking
started
him up and
yet.
putting him down.
It's supposed to start
He
here in
is
a couple minutes.
4.2 seconds ahead of his Roush Racing Ford teammate Greg Biffle. 5 seconds up on Clint Boyer. And 7 ahead of Tony Stewart.
Yeah, goals
and Jimmy
against
Johnson.
per game for Boston on the season, 2.08. It's ridiculous.
He was in 13th position.
Just to
Now
put
he's
in
second.
perspective, the
Wow,
Oilers
we're
are
talking
5th
about
in the
how much
Western
better
Conference
race
right now, so
He
pretty
was the
decent
first lead
team.
lap car to hit pit road
And,
at lap 164. And for example, Mark Martin didn't
I
come
was
over
going to
pit
look
road
at,
until
oh yeah,
7
power
laps
plays
later.
against.
Now, the
They've given up
gamble was they
57
didn't
on the
get
power
hurt by
plays
caution,
this
and they
year.
didn't.
Only
So they went
28
from
goals
13th to
allowed all
second.
season
By
for
short
Boston on
pit, hit it a little
the power
early
play.
under the green
Penalty
flag
kill
position.
percentage,
Plus, he was not happy with his
86.6%.
car. So
75% for
work
Edmonton.
done on the car, making the
Usually
car
above
better with a big
80% is
clutch,
really
Now,
good.
the other side of that story is the
86.6
hometown hero,
is
J.J.
insane.
Yaley, driving for Joe Gibbs in the Interstate Chevy. Yaley stayed out to lead a lap. He was the last lead lap car to pit, and as we documented, lost a second and a half a lap to the car.
I mean, it should be a pretty good game. I'm not expecting a
finally
blowout
gave
by
in
any
3
means,
laps
but-
ago, and now he is a lap down in 30th
Hard to bet
place.
The
against.
moral of the story, Doug Richard, when he pitted Greg Biffle,
NASCAR Planet,
he
thanks
was
for
banking
tuning
on
in.
caution not coming now. Steve Addington, J.J. Yaley's crew chief, was banking on a caution coming out.
And there's a good chance that can happen when you get cars
Clint
that are
Boyer
coming
up
in
to
and out of the pits,
third.
getting on pit road. You got cars that are
He's just
faster,
having a solid
they're
day.
farther out,
Started
they're longer tires. It's
pretty
incredible
good.
ingredients for it.
Stayed in the top 10, and now he's been top 5 since about the halfway mark.
Some of those riding around out there
Maybe
right now.
just before that.
Casinos
Greg
in
Biffle's up
Arizona
to
you go
second, by
get
the
better
way.
odds than that.
Short pitting gained Greg Biffle so much
Tony
time.
Stewart up to 4th.
He was the first car into pit road, went from 7th to 2nd. And that picker's been really fast too, so I'm sure that also
Well,
factored.
Mike, we've been documenting his charge to the front from the rear of the field.
Kyle Busch
Once he
missing
got
his
up
whole
into the
right
top
front.
10, he kept
It's like a half modified with a
tight.
hood.
He couldn't get forward right.
And a left front
They
fender.
have now seemed to fix that when they fitted under green on
Jeff
lap
Gordon is up to
171. They added a round of wedge
Where's Dave
to the
Blaney?
right rear, and they
How
made
far
an
back did he?
air
Ah, dang it, 21st. See, that's why I didn't want Dave Blaney to stay out that long. He was in 16th.
Well, sounds like you anticipated
Gave up
our
5
singular
positions because they stayed out so
virtual
much
crew chief
longer.
question, Steve.
I don't think it's worth 5 bonus
Tony
points.
Stewart make it from the back to the front.
The only way it's
Well,
worth 5 bonus points
done
is
everything
if,
but
like, you don't have to
lead.
stay out too much
Stewart
longer than the rest of the
up to
leaders,
fourth.
that you're not going to lose that much more track position.
Text the word crew to
But you got to
191
figure
on the Signal
losing,
wireless phone or log on to
gaining 5
foxsports.com.
points for leading a lap to losing 5 positions of track
In the
position.
July race
Granted,
at
it's
Daytona.
still the middle of
That's
the
how you win
race.
championships, though.
But that's a
Patience,
very high
patience.
risk
Take your
for
time,
not that
small
big of a
race.
reward
You
because
get
it's
some
3
of the
points
pits,
per
you get
position.
some
That's
on the track.
15 points
Everything will be fine.
he's given up. So it's a net loss of 10 points if you do the
the
math.
20s, we're looking at Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car.
Net
He's
loss
in
of
fifth
10
position
points
right now, but the car that
based
Tony
off of
Stewart
where he was
20
running
is
before to lead the
chasing
lap
right now.
and where he's running
Clint
now.
Boyer in that 07 car, well past the halfway mark of this race. This kid's
If you have
still
decent
sitting here
speed,
in third
I just don't
position.
like doing that.
So a good job by Gil Martin and his crew on pit road getting him
Especially
off
at a
of
track
his
like
green flag
Phoenix.
stop. Clint finished 6th in the Daytona 500.
Cars have been
That's
able to
been his
pass,
only
but
top 10 finish of this year.
it isn't the
Great run
easiest
for
to
this
do it.
RCR
We all know
crew.
that.
Just overall, Larry, I mean, you got to just keep bragging.
Hopefully
on
he's
the
got a good
children's
long run
group.
car again.
I mean, the way everybody's running in that crowd.
And he's a
Gee,
lap
all
down
of
too. He was on the lead lap.
Oh yeah, well this, by the way, marks the
16th.
one-year
I think 17th is the first car lap down right now. So, see, I mean, They trapped him a lap down, so now if we get a caution, he's not going to be able to get back up to where he was. I don't like that call.
Chief Gil Martin told me today it really was a learning experience.
Whoever Dave Blaney's crew chief was at this time.
Cooled down, and then they learned about things that happen when you least expect it. So he's taking nothing for granted. I mentioned earlier during the pit stop, he's real happy with the car. So he's not saying a whole lot today.
Still might say just
that's a good thing for this guy, because
yeah,
when he's not happy,
we'll be seeing that at Coda in a couple of weeks, though. Hopefully we see it at every track.
Now, Dale Jr.'s had an interesting night. He's right now running in 13th spot. He's about 20
They make a mid-season change, I'd be all for it. They're not going to.
Had a pretty good pit stop.
Probably be during the off-season, just like they did
If you
with
want to
this.
hear interesting audio on
It's amazing
your
it
scanner,
took them
just dial
7
up channel
seasons of
number
stage
8,
racing
and
to
this was a great
finally
exchange between Dale and his
make
father
the change,
crew.
even on just a road course.
Doing a lot better with your line there. It's really good. That's just a fast car.
I can see not making it after the change after like the first year, just because it's one season. After like 2 years, I feel like you should have a pretty good idea of.
Because he's the fastest car on the track. Oh, I thought you were saying I was.
Yeah.
All I know, boys, when I close my eyes, that's a voice from the past that I worked with in 97 and 98. The apple didn't grow far from the tree.
That's what all those crew chiefs tell you, though. Oh, you're the fastest car on the track.
Why is that car getting smaller?
Yeah, yeah, right. Well,
It's a funny
Clint
exchange.
Boyer is one of the fastest cars in the track right now. His last lap was within a tenth of Carl Edwards in 8th place, who is the fastest car on the track. And Boyer is coming. You're watching for Greg Biffle, who's in the subway.
We're down to just 105 laps to go already. Or, that was not good math. 117 laps to go. My gosh, I can't believe I was at 115. 115 laps left.
Can really make a lot of time.
I can't math tonight, apparently.
Boyer's teammate,
Jeff Gordon about to go a lap down. Jeff Burton
Gordon.
gonna get in the way. The two Jeffs. Oh, Mark, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my gosh. He thought he was Kyle Larson for a second before Kyle Larson
Because I guarantee you, those boys are not going to give up. As Clint Boyer
was
in 07 just
of
fell
age
back
to
right
drive
there.
in NASCAR.
The second
That
spot.
car is hooked up big time.
The fact that he even thought about that with a big lead.
To try to stay on the lead lap and keep that number 6
He's got such a big lead. Don't risk it, Mark. It ain't worth the reward.
Close quarters right there.
When you're the leader, you try
I
to
can't
lap
believe he
somebody,
was even thinking
you
of
gotta
going
be
3
really,
wide
really
up the middle.
cautious.
They've got the track
Right
blocked.
behind him is the Curie car trying to get back on the lead lap.
I was gonna say Kurt's a lap down. He's holding him up for Dave
We'll see
Blaney.
the blue flag here
He's
in
a
a
couple
bit
positions back yet.
to give the leader the right of way. Caution.
Oh, dang it! That's a big caution for the Jeffs.
Boy, was that timely.
Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon, and even for Kurt Busch, because Kurt's gonna get the free pass.
But you just mentioned Darrell Waltrip.
And now Dave Blaney's trapped a lap down. Way to go, guys. They had a top 15 run in the bag. What is that? Is that rubber? No, that is sheet. The other thing might have been rubber. That is definitely sheet metal.
We joke about the timing of the caution, but the tread on these tires are so thin, a piece of metal that's in the track anywhere near the racing room can have disastrous consequences. NASCAR's first priority is safety.
The debris retrieval.
That's a big caution for Biffle, though. Short pitting, got the track position, starting to fade again. Boyer got around him, but that gain of 4 spots from when he pitted to where this caution came out, everybody's going to pit again. His pick crew's been fast. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the race off pit road.
That right front, you said it's chattering. Obviously, at this point, they realize it's not a tire issue. It is what's going on with that right front of the car. They got to make it more drivable than that.
Chad Canals told them they were about 8 laps early when they pitted and they ran out of gas.
Ever think about racing
Johnson
stock
right now
cars?
in fifth position, getting ready
That's
for
come
the
and
stop.
gone.
So the car is a little.
I actually raced growing up. I mean, it was definitely a dream, but
Running in the 10th position, the car is loose.
you get to a certain point in age where, you know, just trying to find like even local sponsorship and the funding that goes into it, you know, to even want to be competitive. I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. Biffle didn't win the race on pit road, but I think he was second. Gained 1 spot. Hill is, on the other hand, not gaining any spots. Might have been about even. I mean, he was at the tail end of the lead lap anyway. I don't think he would have lost too many.
Is there a problem on Mark Martin's car, Steve?
I think so, Mike. Pat Tryson just banged the pit box in anger, said, Mark, you're going to have to come back in. I wonder if they maybe left a tire loose, or wheel loose rather, but he's going to have to come back down. Jeannie.
Oh, man, that is, with 100 to go, Mark Martin was dominating and now has to pit and give up the lead.
It's the right rear end. I bet you Greg Biffle needing some help with the handling of the right front of that car.
That means Boyer's going to be in the lead.
All right, Martin's back in, Jeannie, and he had to navigate through the lap down cars that are pitting on this lap.
It's left rear tire. They're back there tightening it up.
Dang. I feel bad. He has such a good... I mean, he had the fastest car in the field. Fastest car in the field.
And there's the reaction.
He knows he's losing his job the next day. Hey, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It is not okay.
He's going to go out in about the 19th or 20th position now. That's
Fire, yeah.
The lead lap.
Dick Bergman.
And we have been hearing from Junior all night long. Well, at least this half of the race.
Yeah, Clint Boyer out in
He
front.
has had a
Rookie
push.
Clint
The
Boyer
front end of the
leading.
car just sliding
First
out from
time.
under
Tony
Junior.
Stewart's
He
up to
looked so
third.
good early on in the race.
He's going to put Biffle in P2.
Kevin Harvick having a very solid top 10.
Bobby
run tonight,
Labonte
Dave.
lost
Now,
some spots. He
was
wasn't
running in the
fit.
sixth position
Came out of the
before
pits
that
in
stop. He needed to be freed up. He's been going back and forth between tight and loose, but now he needed to be freed up on that last run. Some adjustments by Todd Berry and the guys. He won the Busch race.
Well, I'm
last
hoping
night,
we
so
get
now
another
a bunch of
yellow
restarts.
and
The air
Dave
pressure
Blaney
adjustment he's
can...
hoping will fix his car in the center of the corner.
Chris Myers.
Get the free
Next
pass.
flight, time for a Visa race break. 110 laps to go under caution here. And if you're wondering what happened to the pole sitter, he led 7 laps. Kyle Busch, who won this race in Phoenix back in November, had some problems, but Tony Stewart, who qualified 3rd, Jeff Hammond, had some tire problems, had to start 43rd, but chipped away to work himself all the way up to 3rd.
Very patiently right here. Makes his way
Kind of weird how he started off talking about Kyle Busch, and then he's like, but Tony Stewart on the other hand. It's like, well, that had nothing to do with it, but okay. He must have gotten some misinformation that they were going to talk about Stewart. Add to it.
That's
That
a
didn't make
wonderful
any
life.
sense.
Yes, it is.
We're getting set for the restart.
All right, all the lap cars on the bottom. Where's Dave?
110 to go.
Oh, man, he's like 6 cars deep.
Before last night, it was
I think there's some cars that are 2 laps down that lined up in front of him. Oh, I think Dave pulling out of line. Is he taking it 3 wide into 1?
We will have some rookies win some races this year. Probably have one make that chase as well.
Well, it wasn't wrong about rookies winning races. Hamlin got a couple of them at Pocono.
Win a race.
Mark Martin restarted 16th.
And they're all on good teams.
Yes.
That's the other part, too.
So Mark Martin's got a long way to go, Steve.
Yeah, Mike, and he just said to his spotter, you got to help me out. I don't want
Yeah,
to get
dirt
in trouble
tracks
here. His
are
spotter is
cheaper.
Mike Senyitko, and also want to mention that there was a personnel change on the 6th car. The rear
I mean, I
tire
grew up
changer, Darryl
racing on
Lockyer.
dirt.
It's
I
his
never
first race. That's
got
what
the
loose
opportunity
wheel
to
was,
race on
and Darryl
asphalt.
said
I
all
always
the time,
wanted
don't beat
to.
yourself.
Yeah, and the thing
Wanted
is,
to make that
think back to last
transition,
night,
just never
Clint Boyer
did.
got
I
bit
was
like,
raced,
got sent back to
started
back,
off racing
got
quarter
in a
midgets when I
wreck.
was like 8.
Just in the earlier wreck we had here.
Did that for a few years until I grew out of the car, basically, and then
Got in a wreck.
switched over
So
to
you got- when you get back there,
go-karts.
It just seems like it's almost inevitable.
Well, there was something that we called like a rage cart, which had like a roll. It was like a go-kart with a roll cage kind of thing.
Clint Boyer and
Oh,
Tony
trouble over there off the turn 2. Sorry, guys, but somebody fell off the fence.
Stanton Barrett.
Stanton Barrett.
But he keeps going.
Yes, he did. I'm sorry about that.
No caution.
Clint Boyer and Tony Stewart both just ran their fastest laps of this race.
Man,
Being
Clint Boyer's
right
checking out.
at night is the key to getting home first here.
They're getting down there to laps that would have gotten this show qualifying on Friday. That's what we said.
Oh man, Case King got loose.
Night time is the right time.
Thank the
Car
Lord for
under
the
him at the
nighttime.
time
Reed
too.
Sorensen is back in the race, and that means that from the big pileup at lap 100, of the 7 cars involved, only
Keeper, I never
Michael
really got
Waltrip
into drag racing.
has not returned.
Drag racing sounds expensive.
It's his 650th career next Cup start.
Things are cooling off outside, but heating up on the racetrack.
Oh, business is picking up. You get these cautions, get these restarts.
I mean, any kind of racing's expensive if you're looking to be super competitive out of the
How
gate.
cool the track has cooled
Let's
off.
be
You know, not
honest.
that much ambient, but when the track cools down, the speeds pick up because the cars run so much
Money doesn't
quicker.
grow on trees forever,
The
then.
tires are gripping.
Cars happier, tires are happier, drivers are happier.
And coming back toward the front, Matt Kenson, who battles Carl Edwards for 6th. They are teammates.
Kenson's kind of
Much a
been
battle
nowhere
there.
full
Well, I tell
race.
you what, just getting up high
He's showing
down,
up
getting
now,
that momentum
though.
off of turn 2 over there really makes a huge difference. Down that run down into turn 3.
And here's Mark Martin racing Jeff.
I mean, the
Green.
good news is for Mark
is
Martin,
now
there wasn't many
14
cars on the lead lap. He's got the fastest car to try to come back.
What, 17 cars on the lead lap?
Yeah.
So even though Mark had to start at 3,
Problem is there's so many lap cars in the way too. It's gonna be tough.
But Mark's definitely going to need to help us some
That
caution.
Truex, they got sideways off turn 2. Saw somebody wiggling. Yeah, these two, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burke, got bailed out that last caution. They were both about to go a lap down. Oh, we got a truck. Got problems. Scott Wimmer's got a left rear down.
Saved it, and he'll get to pit road.
Scott was one lap down, back in the 27th position, but as you said, he will make
I didn't realize Morgan McClure was still around in 2006.
Assuming
Assuming that's still them in the 4.
Goes Tony
Stewart
that
second.
20 car just drives by Greg Biffle.
I mean, they mentioned
Second
Stewart
spot.
hasn't led
now,
yet.
He's about a second and a half behind our leader, Clint
Get
Boyd,
closer.
from the 07.
100 to go.
That is the highest that Stewart has been tonight after
Local
starting
for a
this
hobby.
race from the
Oh,
back.
trouble down here. J.J. Yaley's around.
Brett Sherman into it.
Oh, another big wreck.
And Denny Hamlin almost involved as well.
I don't think J.J. hit anything.
JJ didn't, but whoever that other car was that was stopped definitely hit something.
6th caution.
I think
And there is
JJ got
damage on
hit
the
is
left
what
side of
happened.
Yaley, but that's where
He
Brett
didn't hit
Sherman,
anything, but he got
the
hit.
Serta Dodge got into him after he spun.
Pretty minimal damage for a car that spun all the way around in front of all those other cars.
Now this caution does
Right to
not
the
put
door.
us where we can make it to the end. If we pit right now, it's only been 10 laps. I think you'll see most of the leaders stay out.
Watch his 18 car. He just loose, really loose back there in the corner.
Yeah, lost.
Gets the thing
He
spun
might have
around,
had
gets a little
contact. Tough to
contact
tell.
with the 49.
Actually, Brent Sherman, the 49, didn't get a lot of
Didn't
damage.
get a lot of damage for what could have been.
And watch this hole open up right in the middle.
Yeah, and the 11 car just comes, hello.
Come on through. From our Exmo cam, our extra slow
Wonder who
motion,
got the
1,000
free
frames
pass.
per second camera.
I know it wasn't
Look
Dave
at that, the
Blaney.
car just gets loose, starts around. And
Yeah, he
saving
spun
it.
out all on his own. Nobody else was there.
See the staying in the
49
gas,
locking the
staying
brakes
in
right away, then he
rear
lost
tires
control
got
trying to
all matted,
miss him.
trying to get it to spin all the way around.
Biggest thing those two cars need is 4 more Goodyear tires.
So we're under yellow for the 6th time in Phoenix, Arizona. You're watching the Subway Fresh 500 on Fox.
The Subway Fresh 500 on Fox is sponsored by UPS, proud sponsor of Dale Jarrett's 88 Ford.
Okay, Brown, do for you.
The Subway Fresh 500 delivered by UPS, and UPS delivers the chance to manage your own free fantasy auto racing team and win 2 tickets to any Fox broadcast race. Go to Fox.
Hey, that's kind of like what we have.
Keyword
1, 2 tickets to any
UPS.
NASCAR race. It doesn't have to be Fox broadcast though. In our fantasy league.
For the second time tonight,
I'll buy you the tickets.
Recent round of pit stops. Tires are factored, so people obviously playing it safe.
You know, right now the leaders
KRC League on the NASCAR mobile app website. If you're not yet joined, definitely do so. Yeah, I was going to say, this caution's big for Martin. He got up to 11. I'll tell you what, if Jeff Gordon gets a top 10 after running 30th on speed early in this race,
Go green.
We're told Dale Jarrett had to come back in the pits.
that'd be a nice
Missing a left nut
comeback.
before he left.
That was not a caution Clint Boyer needed, by the way, also, because he was kind of checking out from
The
Stuart
leaders all
Biffle.
had about 11 laps on their tires.
Probably
We
not
saw
good for
earlier
Biffle
where
either,
most-
'cause,
with cars
man,
that
who
had
is that
any
slow
laps
car
stayed
down
out.
on the bottom?
So not surprising the cars.
That
in the back
JJ?
can't
Oh
get
my
cars
gosh, he's
front
crowding
stayed out.
everybody.
Well, you can
I think it was
see right
Yaley
now,
coming out of the
last thing
pits.
we're gonna do is get back to this mess, because this is exactly where all the trouble is. Happens just about every time you come here. Everything
Oh,
goes smooth,
Yaley
you
got
get
loose
these
again.
restarts, then you get 3 wide.
4 wide, 4 wide. J.J. Yaley holding everybody
This
up.
is not going to work for long here on this
Mark Martin up the middle.
3 wide right there.
Look out, Mark! Oh, they're gonna be 4. Oh my gosh, it narrowed. Yaley's so slow. Get out of the way.
Stewart from last to first. How about that?
Took him 217 laps to do it. If he leads this lap, and he will, he has led a lap
There
in
you go.
every race in 2006.
5 bonus points for Smoke.
All 8 races.
Well, I think that singular question was a no-brainer. With Stewart Ford,
It was a caution from his teammate that helped him get right back up the board.
No! Come on, you guys have to have that one back. Oh, well.
Well, we do know that 75% is wrong.
Every time you participate, you're entered to win a chance for Jeff Burton's payday at the July Daytona race on funds. So Stewart is obviously the biggest mover.
He
After
plenty up
starting
12
last
spots
and
at the
moving
start.
to the front. And by the way, going away.
I think that means he was
yeah,
up to
that thing out
15.
Clean air is moving on.
So I don't think he's there anymore. Unless he got the free pass. I didn't think he did.
12 car earlier, he started back in the 13th position. He just moved in the
Yeah,
top
Jeff
10,
Burton's in
sitting there in 10th. Looks like they're getting their car better and better.
I think McMurray got the free pass. Either him or Vickers.
One top team, 15 finish.
One of those two guys are the last car in the lead lap.
And I think this group here would be
Man,
perfectly
where
happy
Blaney
to
fall?
get out of here with the top 10 finish tonight.
He's back at 27th. Man, that pit strategy call in the middle of the race absolutely ruined Dave Blaney's race.
Now, Ryan Newman
He drove
was one
that
of the
thing
cars
all the
that
way up to
stayed out.
15th,
Right behind him,
having
Mark
blown a right
Martin
front
sixth,
tire,
one of the cars that
and they sacrificed it by pitting way after everybody trying to catch a caution in the middle of a green flag run instead of just saying, hey, you know what, guys? We're underfunded equipment. I think 15th place is actually a solid run. No, they're trying to go for the win
he's confident in it.
with a
He's coming to
15th
the
place
front. He'll make
car.
up for all that time he lost.
At best, probably. Sacrificed the track position. They fell a lap down because of it. And then the caution came out before they even had an opportunity to race themselves back in the lead lap. High risk, absolutely zero reward.
Big crash.
Oh, we got another big wreck. Turn 4.
Squeezes through it. Jeff Green gets by, but there's a
Oh,
car
Junior's
up
got
in the
damage.
wall.
Kyle Petty in the 45 was up against the wall.
Neil
for a
Junior's got
second.
some.
And there's another one still parked there in the front.
Look at that.
Man, turn 4 has caused a lot of big wrecks in this
He had to
race.
stop way back, Larry, because he has brake problems. So Junior has
There's no
some
sun
damage.
glare there
Damage.
anymore
I
either.
don't think it's going to hurt.
Is there oil in turn 4 or something?
There's still one car parked in turn
Guys
4.
sliding around everywhere back there. Oh, man. Oh, Newman.
Ryan Newman. We just were talking about Ryan Newman in the 12 car.
7th caution
Heavy
flag,
impact
lap
for him.
223.
Scott Riggs came back out, was running in last. Wrecks again. Tough break for Scott Riggs.
Let's see if slow
Right in front of Mark Martin. Oh, what was Dale doing?
Whoa. Junebug got into the back of
Dale
the
was
45
all,
car.
he had all 4 tires on the
Ryan Newman
apron
just
underneath
locked
Kyle
up the
Petty and
straight
just
fence.
hooked
He
him.
paid the price.
That was all Dale's fault there.
Whoa.
And there's some damage on the front of Mark Martin, the 6 car.
Ooh,
He
man,
got
hard
the
impact
Dale
for
Earnhardt
Newman.
Jr. in the 8 Bourbon.
I think he ran into Dale. Yeah, he ran into Dale after.
Oh,
Oh, it was Petty. My bad. Martin kind of squeezed Newman into Petty after Newman cracked the wall, and Newman had 2 hard hits there. Got into the wall, and then he squeezed
That's a
the 12 right into the back of the
He is
45.
charmed.
Yeah, he-
Ryan Newman, on the other hand, has a car that may be done for the night.
Oh, it
Only
is.
3 cars are officially
Ain't no
out
saving
of
that
this
car.
race. You see Ryan sitting in the ambulance. He climbed out under his own power.
Rattlesnake Hill, and he is snake bit tonight.
Yeah, that was all Dale's fault. I don't know what he was thinking there. He had all 4 tires on the apron trying to pass Kyle Petty and then just make contact with him. Now, there was a big gap between where Petty was. Well, not even a big gap. I was thinking the cars.
Pit road is also getting pretty busy there.
Oh, man, then he just got piled in.
They talked about making an air pressure on the 20 car. Tony
It's
Stewart
tough.
vetoed that. Said, just give me a little bit wedge in the right rear. That's the
Stops.
only adjustment. Tony Stewart's car, man.
Good stop going so far for Kevin Harvick's team. Wedge adjustment's already complete. He's not going to beat the 20 off pit road. The 48-minute track bar adjustment. Up, Gene.
Oh,
Yeah, 7 of Clint Boyer needed the car freed up just a little bit. That's what they did. 4 tires with air pressure
oh
adjustment.
Biffle's pit crew?
Hey, she
Casey
On it
Kenyon, the
again.
number 9 car, parked well back in his pit. That gave
I'll tell you
Junior
what, that
plenty of room to
pit
get
crew of the
around.
night has to be that
Now
16
looking on the
team.
back of the car.
That car is
The back
faded,
trunk
but they
is well
have
up in
won
the
him
air.
the
They
race
gotta
off
get
pit
that
road so
pounded
many
down so
times.
the spoiler isn't too far up.
He'll lose track
Oh,
position
God,
under
they
green, but they'll
get
give it
in the
right back to
car
him. That pit crew is keeping Biffle in it.
Now that's from where Mark Martin got into the back of Junior after Junior sent Kyle Petty around to start.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, after Kyle Petty got turned from Dale Jr. there, Jr. kind of deserves the damage. Not going to lie. He caused that one. He did not deserve to get out of that scot-free. I'm not saying he turned Petty intentionally, but it was just a ill-advised move. Junior was 7 years in, too. You know, it's not like it's a rookie mistake or anything. That was just something he should have known better.
What it takes, life takes Visa.
Biffle did look like... Oh, we missed another restart. Is that Dave Blaney trying to get the free pass? Throw the yellow. I think he might have stayed out of the pits. Throw the caution. Give Dave Blaney the free pass. There's debris. Debris.
3 Childress cars there in the top 10. Well, top 11. Alberton's 11.
Hang on to it, Dave.
Warriors 5th, and Kevin's up there in 3rd. So those Childress cars
We need a caution.
Impressive tonight.
See,
Here you
Dave
go.
Blaney back there in the 22 cars. We've got this battle
We need
right
another
now
yeller.
between Clint Boyer and the 07
Oh,
kids
oh,
in the 17.
man.
It's a battle for 5th. They're just
Might have
laying
been
on
some
each other.
contact.
Dave Blaney in the 22 right in
10th
front
of
of
the
them, working.
Where'd Dale
feverishly
Jarrett
trying to
come
be
from?
the
He's
first
got to be a
car
lap down.
Get the free pass. Should we get a
He is. Dave Blaney's racing Dale Jarrett right now for the free pass.
Yeah, Sterling Marlin was the free pass
Casey
car
Mears
on this
also.
caution flag.
It's like right there behind Jarrett.
Here comes Carl Edwards in the 99 trying to follow his teammate around Clint Boyer in the
Kansas
07
just slowly moving through the
so
field.
good
Gosh.
right in the middle of the corner right
Boyer
there.
is kind of pinching the cars off on the bottom. I
What's
think that's part of the
interesting
reason why
about
him
that
and
last
Kendrick were
caution, we
kind of
saw
making
everybody
contact.
come to pit road. Reason being, they pitted with 88 laps
Casey Mears
to go.
getting
We
trying to
talked
get
about
by
the fuel
Dale
window,
Jarrett.
about
Yeah, keep
75
racing
to
each other.
85 laps. I get a feeling a lot of cars are thinking.
Look at how far the
we'll make it to
16
end
and the
from
20
here
pulled
regardless.
away
We talked
from
about that
everybody
at the top of
already.
the show.
Jeff Gordon in traffic with
What restart for them.
Truex 12th. Gordon trying to take the spot. Kurt Busch
Or was
is
like
there
the
as
Boyer
well.
07 car.
And things starting to heat up as Carl Edwards has passed Clint Boyer.
Oh, yeah. You talking about leaning on each other? You ain't seen nothing yet.
See in the battle on the right there with Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, there was Kurt Busch in the 2 right behind him back on the lead lap. And here's Mark Martin in the 6th. Right now, he is in the 10th position.
Slowly trying to get back through the field.
Still looking good.
So much traffic around him, he can't go anywhere.
Behind him in the 11th.
Mark Martin's pit crew cost him a chance to win this.
Casey Kane
Still 76
in the
to
9
go.
Army Dodge Charger
Get
in this
back up
race.
there.
8th place, Bobby Labonte 9th. Kurt
But he
Busch.
had the dominant car, and now he's just in traffic. Nowhere to go. I mean, they're side by side in front of him.
Well, I know the 6 car there.
I know
Mark Martin,
32's a
I know he
lap
felt
down.
bad about what happened
Travis
to his pit
Crawford.
stop. But
Bobby
getting
Labonte
through that
isn't. I
wreck
think
down
he's
there
still in the
with,
top 10.
With those guys and not getting any damage, that well made up for the pit stop. And he's back
You
there.
can tell
He's gonna
Mark's
be,
so much
somebody
faster.
to
He's
deal
getting
with
through the
when we
center
get
of the
down
corner so
You
much
can tell
better. He's just
definitely
boxed
faster.
in.
Looks like the Bobby Labonte, the 43 car.
just said
right
that,
now
Larry.
is boxed in.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I just said that to a
Side by
T.
side. These lap cars on the inside, faster cars on the outside. He just can't go anywhere.
Oh,
Place really does
man.
race like a short track.
I mean, you know, if he passes Labonte on the outside, he's got a super strong car. We obviously know he's got a strong car.
Laps to go. Mark has a
Mark
car
is
that
trying
can
to wheel that
contend, but
thing
he's over
back
9
up there.
seconds behind our leader, Greg Biffle, in the 16.
11th place here, Jeff Burton in the 31. Had to ease up for Travis Quapple ahead, and here comes Truex.
I got to be constantly checking that leaderboard to see where Dave Blaney's at. Just hoping we get a caution.
Jr. in the 8 car, all that damage over
I mean, I like
his
staying
car
out of the
right
pits
now.
there.
Just went by Jeff Gordon in the 24.
Like, now's the time to be bold because you're already a lap down.
Yeah,
They would've
when
just
I was
played
looking
the
at
pit
Junior's
strategy
car, I just
smart,
don't
pitted
feel
with
like
the
damage
leaders,
he had
and
is
they
not
wouldn't be
gonna
in
affect
this
the
position.
performance of the car, really, because the blade was
19th
still
right
sticking
now,
up
but
there
yeah,
where it
they're
needed to be.
definitely
That's
first
the
car
most
lap down.
critical thing. So
We need a
he's
yellow.
gonna be okay, I believe.
And remember, yeah, he's here to win
Who
the race.
wants to put it in
6
the fence?
points. He has only one finish outside the top 15 this year.
Safely,
He's
of course.
completed every lap of competition. He's just looking for that top 10 or 12 finish to stay in the game.
Well, those two guys right there, the 8 to 24, in my opinion, Larry, that's what they're really focusing on, is to be in the top 10.
Funky
and be in the
Landscaper,
chase
thanks for tuning
when we
in.
get to the 26 race.
Look what's happened with our leaders. Greg Biffle has walked away from Tony Stewart to the tune of
Wow,
just over
Biffle.
a second.
Where did this
With
speed
Kevin
come
Harvick
from?
4 seconds back.
This
in
is like
third.
how he looked in the very beginning of the race, and then he ended up
Johnson and Matt Kenseth 6.5
fading
seconds
over the
back
long
in
run
fifth. 72
in the middle.
laps to go in the
And
Arizona
he was
Desert
back around
watching
7th.
NASCAR.
That pit crew wanted the race off pit road, and they might have made the right adjustments. Clean air probably helps too. Clean air always helps. Never hurts.
Greg Biffle in the Subway Ford is doing the walk. He is walking away from Tony Stewart. He's
The
now
Subway
about
car
1.8
trying to win the
seconds, and
Subway
he's
race.
4 seconds up on
I don't know
Kevin
how I don't have a
Harvick, and he's
die-cast
got
of that
a
thing.
unique
I have a
look
couple.
on the wheel, Darryl.
Like 3 Biffle die-casts. I don't have
I mean,
that.
it's so unorthodox.
I still need to get a National Guard card every single time I go to a race. Ever since I went to Bristol Night when I started my collection in 2021, I've been constantly looking for a Greg Biffle National Guard card. I cannot find one for the life of me. I look through every tent as thoroughly as possible. The only National Guard cars I've ever seen are any Dale Jr. car, which I do have one. But I mean the Biffle National Guard scheme, the best National Guard scheme of all time.
Hands at about,
I mean, Dale Jr. had some good ones.
10 and 2 maybe. And I think if you there's typical. That's the way we normally would hold the wheel. That's the way we would normally drive the car.
Ken Schrader on the left there.
I just lost the
Reigns
chat,
on
by the way.
right.
My phone just died. F in the chat for me.
Now that's a little bit closer to what Biffle's doing.
I'll get my phone on the charger
He
real
actually
quick.
really relaxes his right hand. Dave Blaney on the right, kind of on the straightaway.
It seems a little like a road race way of holding the wheels so that when you're in the middle of the corner, your hands
I
are
think
not
Dave
in
Blaney
the
is
way instead of being
left-handed,
there
if
on
I'm
the
not
straightaway.
mistaken. I think that's why he's
Just fascinating.
He drives like that.
I love watching it because
Dale Jr. always kind of did the same thing.
Stewart second. Dale Jr. back in 17th with damage from that crash with Kyle
See, the problem
Petty
is the
and
Junior
Mark
having
Martin.
damage
There's
and being
the cosmetic
at the
damage.
tail end of the lead
What
lap.
else
That
might
scares
be
me
wrong
that
with
he's
that
going to go
car,
a lap
Jeff
down
Hammond?
before Dave can get the free pass.
Mike, what's going on out there right now with Dale Jr.? If he's got anything as far as this quarter panel and floor been knocked down, it's going to hurt the way the air comes over the car and plants the back of the car.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have you heard on that?
Lack of downforce, that happens. Casey Mears already passed Dave Blaney anyway.
This racetrack is very fast.
Dang it.
And what that affects,
Casey
are these
Mears got
rear
the
tires.
free
If the
pass
car
spot
doesn't get
currently
the
done.
bite And the arrow pushed down in the track.
It's not gonna matter, so
If
there's no
the
caution
properly,
anyway.
He'll have trouble getting down in the corner with any kind of speed.
Are they even gonna make it on fuel at the end of the race? They pitted with like just over 80 laps left. I don't even know if they can make it on fuel.
Thanks, Jeff. Dick
They haven't
Parker
really
has more.
mentioned it yet.
Well, fortunately, Jeff, they do have.
And we don't know exactly what lap they restarted because they were on commercial. 4 times we've missed restarts due to commercials today.
Point out that he again came on the radio after the
I think they've only actually showed like 2 of the restarts after a caution.
Apology be extended to the number 45 car, Kyle Petty. That's a pretty neat thing for a race driver to do right in the middle of an event like that. Take responsibility for an accident that happened.
I mean, that happens a lot.
See, that was what I was talking. Remember we were talking about Kurt Busch in a pre-race show? What does he need to do? That's what he needs to do. He needs is when he makes a mistake or when he's involved in something, apologize. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Don't blame it on somebody else. Just say, here's what happened. I made a mistake, and I'm sorry. Dale Jr. is a classic guy when it comes to doing that.
I know he may feel like this car's rock solid right now, but he just lost the position to Brian Vickers in the 25. That puts him the last car on the lead lap.
Oh man, Biffle's about to lap pretty soon here too. Oh
Oh
my gosh, who? Reed Sorensen plowing the grass.
Tony Stewart to 2.3 seconds. But Jeannie, are there enough?
He's already off the pace. He's mowing the lawn on the backstretch too.
Thickens crew chief Doug Richard with the calculator. Jack Roush was leaving the pit here. He was overseeing the map. The outcome? Well, they just came on the radio and informed Mr. Biffle will be about 4 to 6 laps short. Do
Oh
what you do.
no!
Yeah, the problem is we talked about this a while ago. They pitted basically on lap 224. That's 80 laps to go. They went back racing at 229. That's roughly about 73 or 4 laps from the end. That's right there on that window. What they've got to do, they've got to watch the race pace. They've got to listen to what the driver's telling them, because if that car's pushing and not turning, it's going to use more fuel.
It ain't pushing, I can tell you that by watching his hands, but here's the thing about it is they're right on the money. I mean, they have no insurance. That's why they're telling him to, hey, save just a little bit. They're going to be fine because that's right on the edge.
4 to 6 laps short on gas.
And with this type of a lead, he can conserve a little fuel.
That's tough to save, though. I mean, I know it's just a 1 mile track, but 4 to 6 laps is a lot of fuel to save under green.
Start biting them.
Even under caution.
Mark Martin.
It's tough to save.
Trying to get back in the game on Clint Boyer. This is for 7th place.
Pretty good recovery for Mark, considering all that's happened to him in the last little bit here.
Where'd they say he was, 8th?
Wreck, trouble in the pits.
Mark?
He's worked his way right back up there.
Yeah, the problem is, though, he's going to need a caution because he's 14 seconds behind his
I wonder if
teammate
the fast
Greg
stop by
Biffle
Biffle, too, maybe they didn't get it
And
forward.
right now, nobody, not even Tony Stewart, who is second,
Wonder
can
if that's
run with
possible.
Biffle. And the difference may only be hundreds of seconds a lap, but the gap is growing.
Well, you think back to Biffle, we watched him practice.
Yeah, Tony's
and we
trying to
talked about
pace
him not being
himself.
good on the long runs, but here's what they did, and I really think it's impressive.
Tires and
They
fuel-wise.
anticipated the track tightening up. That car was a handful.
That
for
would
him
be
in
probably
practice.
the
It was a
difference.
handful early
One of
in
the
this
differences
race,
on why
but
Tony
now it's
Stewart
come to him,
is a
and he
former
is
champ.
flying
Greg
around
Biffle
here
is
now.
not.
How about Tony Stewart, Steve?
Assuming it works out for Tony, obviously, not for Biffle. Bobby Labonte's still in 10th, by the way. Might get our Underdog of the Race award. I know he's a former champion, but he's in the 43. Did he just punt the 49 out of the way? It looked like he moved the lapper.
The center of the corner better, just a little tick.
Get out of my way.
Pressure adjustment they made seems to have helped a little bit, but he's still 4.5
Harvick
seconds
up
out of
to
the lead.
3rd, I
As
think.
far as
Yep.
fuel,
Passing Jimmy.
Todd Barrier's crew chief told me they're about 1 lap short, but at that point, we're just going to roll the dice and go for it.
Yeah,
If they
might
have
as
to
well.
stop at that point,
So
they're going to
that's-
lose a lap anyway under green.
It's strange that Greg Biffle's 4 to 6 laps short, and Kevin Harvick's 1 lap short. 1 lap is definitely savable. 4 to 6, I don't think it is.
1 lap's only 1 mile.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know, one mile, surely you can milk a mile out of it.
Right now, he's got his hands full of our points leader, Jimmy Johnson, in the 48 car.
Speaking of points, look at what Kevin Harvick has done lately. Since Atlanta, when he was 23rd, he came in here 9th, and right now would pick up another position based on his
Oh, that's
third
point
place
standings. I
run
thought that
of
was
the
like
moment,
finishing position.
just ahead of our point leader.
Yeah, he has
Jimmy
climbed
Johnson.
quite a bit. Still early in the year, I think.
We talked about
What did I
guys
say?
in
This
some
was
big
like race
points night, Biffle being one of them.
7 or
Ryan
something like
Newman,
that,
who's
9,
somewhere
somewhere
out
around
of the top 20. Kurt Busch, who's running right now in 11th place. So guys that were way back in needing good nights, several of them are getting them.
Lots of different ways to enjoy the race. There's a painting being done live down in Gatorade Victory Lane. Wonder if they'll paint that in to be the car of the winner tonight.
That guy looked like Bob Proctor's from behind.
Like something Hammond would do.
The Subway Fresh 500 on Fox is sponsored by
It's Bob
Subway
Ross when you have Bob
Restaurants.
Proctor.
Subway, drive hard, eat fresh. By DLP Picture Technology from Texas Instruments.
Painting
By
the Victory
Warner
Lane at
Brothers, new
Phoenix in
motion picture,
2006.
Poseidon, in theaters Friday, May 12th. And by FedEx, every day is race day.
Check the chat out real quick here.
It's getting to be crunch time in Phoenix. 44 laps to go in the Subway.
Thanks for everybody tuning in. Again, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We got 36 likes. We've had consistently more people watching than that most of this race, so appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully I can get the chat back up here before the end of this race. Phone died about 15 minutes ago or
A little
so.
bit of trouble. He's being pretty careful.
It's tough on these
pretty much stuck to one
on the
line.
days I work.
He seems to be able to go anywhere he wants to.
The drains
I
enough
think the question, two
throughout the
questions,
work
with
day.
43
And
laps to go.
then I
Will
get
this
home.
thing-
I don't have much time in
things
between the
stay green
stream.
the rest of the way.
Or getting
If it
home and the
does,
start of the
who
stream.
has enough fuel to make it to the end? Who does not?
Threw it on the charger when I got home, but I knew it wasn't going to be enough.
Led 189 laps in November.
Junior's going a
Finished
lap
second.
down.
Tonight he's led 119 so far. Mark's led 111.
The dude can lead some laps. You know, I'm telling you, he can wear out the lap leaderboard.
Harvick and Johnson, 3rd and 4th. Johnson, the point leader, and Harvick 8th in the standings right now. And Matt Kenseth, 5th in the race, and the point standing runner-up. Carl Edwards, the 3rd of the Roush cars in the top half dozen. Remember when he came here with a little silver crown car on an open trailer with the fenders flapping off it? You know, just about every dime he had was in that car, and came out here, hustled it around, and stole the race on the last lap.
Yeah, he did, and I remember Kenny Schrader telling me, he said he was going to come out here and run that race, and Kenny Schrader, you got to be crazy. Because they hadn't run anything but a little dirt track.
Worked out just fine.
Mark Martin, the 6 car out there, car that led a lot of the first of the lap, and then back on lap 201 under a routine pit stop, had a lug nut loose, had to go to the rear of the field.
I don't know, though. I was going to give my underdog of the race to Bobby Labonte. I think I have to give it to Clint Boyer on second thought. Being a rookie, he's ran top 10 the whole race. He's fallen back to 8th, but he's been as high as, actually, he led laps at one point, so
he led during the pit stop sequence.
He's
and then
had
after caution took off, he's led
a pretty good
21
race.
laps in all. That's the 3rd most of any driver.
He's slightly higher than Labonte right
and he's
now.
the leading rookie in the race.
He is kind of fading on this run, though, so I kind of
Casey Mears right there in the 42 car. Right now, Casey is in 19th, 1 lap down. Started this season off with a runner-up finish in the Daytona 500, followed by a couple more great finishes with second to points. They bobbled here.
Wow, Casey Mears 10th in the standings in the early going of the season. 10th for Chip Ganassi Racing, actually. That's really good. That is a good start to the year for Casey Mears in 2006.
And that 10th you saw on the screen would be
not a good night for him, though. I'll tell you that.
Position in the race.
Good before that.
Jeannie?
When I walked away from the 07 pit of Clint Boyer, making our way down to the 16 pit, turned to me and they said, "Where are you going? We're coming back." And we're very positive, guys. I've asked them probably 3-4 times now. They say they can go all the way on fuel. Very positive about that statement.
Roush Car's so strong in this race. 4 in the top 7. They've led a lot of laps between Martin and Biffle. They've led a combined almost 250 laps. I mean, Biffle's still leading, so they'll probably get to 250 laps led combined. Biffle's led the most.
And of course, just to give him a little bit of confidence, his crew chief Kenny Francis or team director
Martin
Kenny Francis
has the best car, in my opinion.
You know, there's a couple guys in front of you going to run out of gas.
Blaney back to 25th. So disappointing. It could have been a top 15 day.
Just one time, I'd like to see this thing go to the end with no caution.
You and I both.
So we can just see who's telling who's telling the truth.
Hopefully everybody has everything tied on their car good.
There's some cars out there with some stuff loose on them, I can tell you that.
We saw Bobby Labonte there in 10th in the Cheerios Dodge from Petty Enterprises, and here's Kurt Busch in the Penske Miller Lite Dodge, 10th and 11th.
Nice recovery by this car. He went a lap down and about 76 laps ago got the free pass back on the lead lap, trying to get back to the top 10.
Good recovery.
Yeah, a number of guys have really been, taking advantage of that the lucky dog tonight. Kurt's one of them. And
probably the biggest one was Dave Blaney. If we have a look at Martin Truex, we get to Blaney in a bit here. Truex is 12th. He is the 2nd rookie in the race.
Oh, it would have been Dave Blaney if he didn't fall back to 25th. He's on older tires, though, because I think they stayed out during the last caution, which also means he's going to be short on fuel, so that's really not going to work out. So 0 for 2 on the strategy calls for Dave Blaney's team today. Pit under green, he's going to fall outside the top 30. Running 15th on speed at one point, after blowing right front.
What I like most about racing is the great competition. I drive for DEI. Dale Jr.'s my teammate, and that's good because we're friends both on and off the racetrack. When I'm not racing, I like to hunt and fish. I'm a big Philadelphia sports fan. I like the Phillies, the Flyers, but most of all, the Eagles. Even though I won 2 championships, I don't really see myself as like a big shot. I just feel like a normal guy that gets to do what he loves.
Now, Jeannie Zelasco is telling me that they've told Martin Truex Jr., his crew chief, Kevin Mannion, he could be about 3 to 4 laps shy on fuel here. We've got 33 laps to go.
Think about poor Robbie Gordon. He runs a DEI motor, and, he always has a short pit. Apparently, they don't get the best fuel mileage.
Jeff Burton running in 13th for Richard Childress, the Prilosec Chevy. Big game from where he
By the way, that's a cool looking paint scheme for Jeff Burton.
And Jeff Gordon struggling a bit in 14th place, 22 seconds off the lead.
He wasn't struggling as bad as he was earlier. They picked it up quite a bit. Top 10 would be a win for that team based off of how the first half of this race went. Running outside the top 20 was as far back as 30th on speed.
Went a lap down, got the free pass about 65 laps ago.
Down to 32 to go. Looks like Tony Stewart's closing in. He's only 7/10 of a second behind Biffle now. Tony's car's been really good on the long runs. Biffle's not as good when they get really, really late in the run. Lap traffic could be holding the 16 up just a bit, too.
Back at the front, Tony Stewart has now climbed.
Probably a combination of both. Tony get through the lap traffic a little bit quicker and just getting better on the long run as usual.
Jason Shapiro asked about the fuel situation. He said we're going to be within a half a lap either way.
Oh, Stewart about a half a lap
It's
short.
Zipadelli's birthday this weekend, maybe. Maybe that half a gallon of gas will be part of his presence.
I mean, Biffle's probably not going to make it. He was 4 to 6 laps short, according to his crew chief. They're definitely not going to make it. Could have backed the pace off that way, too, just trying to save. We have a Home Depot commercial.
With Team Colors paint, you can get the official
Where have we
colors
seen
of your
this
favorite
commercial?
team. Sir, you're all set. Whoever that may be.
We haven't gotten the ads, like, all race until now.
Studios who joined the Fox family as the sponsor of that game.
That was strange.
Moving to Fox beginning in January 2007.
23 to go.
We're glad to have you along for the
Biffle's
ride.
still out
23 to go
front.
here. Chris Myers with Jeff Hammond, Greg Biffle leading Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick. Bigger picture. We talked about it at the beginning of the night with you.
So it looks like we've got a bit of a fuel mileage race. 06 Phoenix.
Like Tony Stewart, who's been on a roll.
You heard me. Thanks for tuning in.
Right now, Greg Biffle's one of those guys.
Goat
who kind of
NASCAR
picked up a
broadcast
little bit.
team.
Right now, if this race ended,
My
he's
personal favorite of all
23rd to
time.
17th in the points.
I wasn't around, though, for the
you don't normally have a chance of making a chase for the championship unless you get inside the top 20.
Baker Parsons combo back in the late 90s.
Last lap, he moves around teammate Carl Edwards, another guy who's been
Bob
making his
Jenkins
way
and
up
or
through
Mike
the
Joy.
pack all night long. Again, he's gained some of the points race also. So
A lot of people
solid
enjoyed
night
their
for
coverage
all these teams, but for
as
Mark
well.
Martin's laps are running out.
CBS
And for a
days.
lot of guys, they may be running out, Chris. I mean, because fuel is the key now to who may wind
Like,
up winning this
subscribe
race.
for
You
more
have to
daily
stop
NASCAR
and
content.
not.
Throwback
We,
Thursdays
you're
every
probably
Thursday
a
on the
lot of these
channel for
drivers
whatever
starting to
racetrack
complain about, hey, I see a
going
piece
to.
of
You
debris
can vote
on the
every
track.
Monday in the
Ain't
community
crossing any
tab.
of this. And don't be surprised if you don't see a piece of debris.
I'll put the
maybe come
polls
out
out,
like we've
and
seen
next
in
week
the
we'll be
past, and
watching
I'm sure
Atlanta
NASCAR will be
throwback
watching
race with
And
them going to the
Dodgers
Atlanta
won
Motor
three of the
Speedway.
last four cup
So
races.
a lot of
Casey
classic
Kane,
races
the
at
hot
Atlanta,
driver,
and you guys will get to
running
vote for
Dodge
which
at number
one
9
we will
right
watch
now.
next week.
And right now, you take a bumper
On
cam
Monday.
out of Greg Biffle's car,
Live
and
commentary
you can really
streams
see
every
him
race
gain
weekend
on
for
the
NASCAR as
KTM.
well. Truck
Big
Xfinity
gain
and
on
Cup this weekend. Xfinity and Cup are racing at Phoenix. Our Xfinity race coverage will begin at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. And on Sunday,
He's having trouble.
we do a live commentary stream for the Cup Series starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And I think Biffle's really driving.
Got a little race
like
here,
Biffle
19 to
would
go.
do.
Stewart's
Biffle's
closed on
getting a
Biffle.
little loose
Biffle
off.
probably
And
looking
that's
short
where
on gas.
Tony's
Tony
really
Stewart on the
gaining
border of
And
making it
remember,
right
last time
now.
we had a
It's
long
about half a
green
lap
run,
short.
Greg Biffle deteriorated late in that run. Had to short pit, actually, to get those fresh tires early.
Kevin Harvick in third is good on fuel. Mark Martin is good. He's in sixth place. The rest of the top five, Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson, the two drivers that lead the Nextel Cup points. So it'll be a nail-biter here. Just 19 laps to go.
He looks nervous. He's hoping.
These cars get what?
His legs shaking. He's got the fingers crossed. If that doesn't look like anxiety, I don't know what does.
They were really leaned down good.
But I'm going to tell you what, we look at Greg Biffle and Tony Stewart. We talked about Kevin Harvick. There he goes right there.
That picker's
back
been
in the
so
third
good,
spot
though,
in
for
the
this
29
16.
car. He's under 2 seconds behind.
Win or loss
our
here
leader,
for Greg Biffle, whether he can
and
make it
only
up fuel or
about a
not.
second
His
behind
pit
Tony Stewart
crew
in the 20 car. There he is.
All these cars,
did an
I mean, this is
awesome
a
job all
long
day.
green run right here. And the guy that's got the best long green setup is going to be the guy that might fail here.
They're the reason he's led the
Right now,
most
that
laps.
appears to be Harvick.
They've-
He is
they've
2 to
earned the
3
10
tenths of
bonus
a
points.
second faster
Pit crew
than
wise
Biffle
today.
or Stewart.
Casey
Here
Kane
comes
up the
Mark
night
Martin for
quietly,
fifth.
by the way. I don't think I've seen him in the top 10 all day until
He
this
just got
run.
too far to go. He's
Right
not
at the
going to be able to
finish.
catch the leaders. But he sure has done a great job
Mark
of fighting his way
Claude
back.
Yeah,
back
it's taken
into the
him
top
almost 100
5.
laps to get back to the top 5 since
Man.
that lug nut problem on a pit stop at lap 2.
Had to have that lug nut problem
But
with
I
like
gotta
100 to
tell you
go.
something,
That's just
that
tough.
29 car is, it's like he hit the afterburner. He is there. He's come right up on the back of Tony
Wow.
Stewart in just the last
Harvick
3
got a
or 4
note.
laps.
Mr. Where did he come
And
from?
it's like they called him and said, you got enough fuel, you can go
I
now."
mean, this
stepped
to
it
a
up.
T is how Kevin
Last
Harvick got
time,
the nickname the
Kevin
closer.
Harvick had 4 straight top 10
He has been
finishes
nowhere
in
near. I mean, he's been in the
2003.
top 10,
3
top
seasons
5
ago.
most of the day, but he hasn't
Car
led a
so
lap.
good through the middle
He
of
hasn't
the corner
competed
right
for
now.
any
15
laps
laps
led
to
at
go.
all until now. He has closed out of nowhere on Harvick or on Stewart and
below
Biffle.
the apron. He pulls right up beside Tony
Look at how
Stewart in the
quickly
20.
he just
Wide
caught
the lane,
Stewart.
looks up.
Got to pass him. Got some turbo boosters in that
You
car.
have to love Delaney.
Oh,
She is
he's
a
gonna pick him behind
hard-working
Blaney.
Woman. She works in the pits. She runs. Harvick's
I was gonna move my story. That'll buy him about an extra lap, but that'll be about it.
Her father was a great racer, and she is too.
Bought him an extra corner.
Behind the lap car.
Maybe not
Dave
even a full
Blaney
lap.
That time, Stewart takes second place back, and you can see the
Oh, Tony just chopped him up.
Don't worry, Harvick's coming back.
Harvick doesn't like that.
Stewart's car now.
We know these guys.
Break got away a little bit.
They have
because
short
these two battling
fuses,
side by
both of
side.
them.
Oh,
Tony chopped him. Harvick, we know, didn't appreciate it.
Of all. He's not had a top 5 finish.
Is he gonna get in
since
though?
Homestead
Is he gonna move
last
him?
November.
Oh, this is definitely what he needed right here.
I don't
Point-wise,
know.
he was slipping back in a hurry. This will get him back up into the top 15 or so. This is going to be a good night for
Sailed
him,
it
no
off.
matter what happens.
You're clear.
Harvick takes the good wrench.
That battle's
Chevrolet
over.
Second. How about our leader, Jeannie?
Oh, this is going to be a good night, an exciting finish as they just came out of the radio to tell Mr. Biffle, we're going to go for it, keeping in mind. we've
Gonna
already
go for it
recorded
upfield.
the
I hope he
Anchor
makes
Short.
it.
Buckle up, Matt.
Harvick has never led a
I don't know if he
lap in
makes it
Nextel
upfield or
Cup
not.
competition here at Phoenix. 13 laps to go, trying to chase down.
Honestly, I just don't remember
here.
this
He's
race.
won here in trucks. He won here last night.
glad we're watching
Now,
for that race.
The team has been very lighthearted in the radio. It's almost
turning
like
out to be a
Comedy
pretty good
Central
finish,
going
fuel mileage.
back and forth about maybe pulling off
Pretty
the sweep
close here.
Now
Harvick's about a
setting
second and a
sights on
half
that
off the lead with
16
12 to go.
car top barrier says, don't worry about fuel. Don't worry about the brakes. Just get them.
And I mean, here's the thing. With our 15 cars on lead lap, remember, all of them pitted at lap 224. All of them are close. Everybody's going to go for it. You're going to go till you see a checkered flag or until you run out of fuel.
Checker or wrecker?
That's it. Or push truck.
Deal or
Yeah.
deal?
Checker or push truck.
11 laps to go for Greg Biffle.
Tell you what, Harvick, Big Biffle, that time by 3/10 of a second.
Yeah, I mean, Harvick looks like the fastest car on track out of seemingly nowhere.
I don't know, but they're going to be a battle.
He's
10 to
going
go.
to get there.
These two don't like each other, by the way. They had a run
I tell
in.
you, Biffle's car has gone
I think it was at
off
Bristol in
Harvick's car
2002.
looks great. You can see both sides. You can see the
They do
NASCAR
not like
say,
one
go,
another.
baby, go, and you can see
I mean,
the
that was like
lady
4
there
years before
chewing on
this.
whatever fingernails you got left.
Maybe they let bygones be bygones. We'll see.
10 to go.
Look at this. Look at
He
this.
just charges the corner so much deeper.
He is burning it down.
There is no
baby.
chance Biffle had there.
9 laps to go.
Unbelievable. He didn't lead a single lap all day until now, and he caught him under green. Out of nowhere. Mr. Where Did He Come From strikes again. Kevin Harvick.
As high as 16.
20 lead
And
changes.
Harvick with a wiggle coming off the corner.
But he's backing the gas so hard, coming up off that corner full power.
Biffle's got nothing for him. I mean, Biffle hasn't been as
And he
good
gets
longer
right
in the
here. This
run.
is where he really goes. Watch him.
I mean, he's probably better on this long run than any other long run, considering he's only back at second. I just hope he makes some fuel.
Hoping her husband can get
Yeah,
the
still
victory.
fuel mileage. They're saying Harvick's good, though. They could be just telling him.
But I'm going to tell you what, the question is, it's the great thing about NASCAR racing.
I wonder if Stewart's going to catch Biffle under green, too.
Does he have enough fuel?
Stewart was catching him until he wasn't. Wow, Tony's falling way back.
4 races in 2006. Kevin Harvick's best finish was 11.
Where is he? I think
Since
Johnson's
then,
up to third.
second
What
at
happened to
Bristol,
Stewart?
7th at Martinsville, 5th in Texas.
Yeah, no pressure there.
Maybe he's still in fourth? Or still in third? I missed him? Oh, I think he is. He's barely in front of Johnson. I think I missed him on the other camera angle.
Go ahead and give Vilma some insurance, but all 3 children's cars in the top 12 right now.
Back it down, buddy. Just take it easy. You just pull it away. Don't abuse it.
Keep doing what you're doing. How about his teammate Clint Boyer, the rookie, 7th place. He just took the spot from Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Johnson's further back than what I thought he was. I don't know why I was thinking he was in fourth.
Last night,
He's actually in eighth. Yeah, I think Clint Boyer's going to get our underdog of the race here. Rookie Clint Boyer led some laps.
25 car.
Came
And
out
look
to
at the
play.
window net on Kurt Busch's car. It has come disconnected.
Oh, no.
He's holding it in place. NASCAR says, no, that won't work.
Oh, how does that happen under green where the window net just disconnects like that? With 5 laps to go, of all times for that to happen.
Yep, black flag on the 2.
He's Kurt Busch, 2006. He's going to be pissed.
Going to hold that black flag true. Right now, he's at 15, the first car a lap.
He's going to have some steam coming out of his
Matt
ears.
Kenseth and Mark Martin have caught Tony Stewart.
I thought Tony was fading. He fell quite a ways back from the 60.
Yeah, I think that's his deal right now. I think they're all banking on maybe Harvick running out of fuel.
Coming around to 4 to go.
Now, a Roush car has hit pit road for fuel. Jamie
Biffle.
McMurray in the 26th car.
Okay,
he was in the
McMurray's
13th
coming in.
position on the lead lap. He hits pit
Biffle's
road
still
for fuel
sick.
with 4 laps to go.
40 car in the pits, that's out of fuel.
What is with the Fords never being able to like conserve fuel as well as the other manufacturers? It's a problem now. It was a problem in 2006.
Steve.
And there are concerns in
The
that
fuel
sector.
efficiency is just not there compared to the Chevys for some reason.
Concerned about it.
Well,
And
he just had a
Toyotas.
teammate, Steve, that hit
Oh
pit
man,
road.
Tony
That's his
left
other
Kenseth
teammate,
no room
Matt
there.
Kenseth,
Now
in the
I can tell you,
17.
2006,
Three to go.
Kenseth and Stewart didn't like each other.
Obeys the penalty flag. He
If
is
I remember
coming
correctly,
to
this was the year that Tony Stewart took
Safety
Matt out
issue
at
there.
Daytona.
Mark
For looking at
goes
him.
past Stewart.
Essentially. Oh, Martin kind of squeezed him.
Stewart fights back on the outside, which you get a great run off the turn 2 on the outside, but
Mark's just
really,
got a
really
better
good right
car.
here,
He
right
has
through the
all
middle.
day.
Tony cut him off. Didn't leave him any room.
Oh no, Biffle's out! No, Biffle's pitting.
Gives up
No!
second place to come
Led
to
the
pit
most
road.
laps and he's out of gas with 2 to go. Oh jeez. I mean, they said he was about 4 to 6 laps short. Of all the guys at the front of the field, he was probably the most likely to run
You
out.
have no tact to tell what your RPM is as far as pit road speed. White flag next time for Kevin Harvick.
Big lead.
What a shame for Biffle. Mark Martin is out of gas.
Oh, Mark's out too.
Kyle Petty's out of
Petty's
gas
out of gas.
here on the front stretch, the 45.
Everybody's running out.
White flag.
White
Big
flag
lead.
for
Big
the
lead.
29. Big lead.
Look out, there's Kyle.
Yeah, he's got a 3.5
Petty-
second
Petty's
lead.
so
He just
slow.
needs
He
to
ran
roll
out.
this thing around here.
He's got to go the whole way around.
And Matt Kenseth side by side.
I kind of hope Kenseth sticks him in the fence, I'm not going to lie.
He's got to do it one more time.
Just because of what happened at Daytona earlier in the season.
Mark Martin, he's still out of fuel here on the front stretch. They can't get the car running.
Kenseth's not that kind of guy, though. Not until 2015. Harvick wins it.
Kevin Harvick for the first time
The
since
closer.
Bristol is a winner.
Wins it on fuel mileage.
He wins the Subway.
Oh, look out.
500.
Mark's out of gas. Everybody's at speed.
What a weekend for that guy.
He tried to just stay out.
Jr. ran out of fuel on the last lap.
Kenny Wallace out of fuel.
He didn't even pit coming in the line the last time.
Just remember, 1 year ago, the guy had a top 5 finish coming, ran out of fuel on the last lap. Tonight, he made it.
That was a good race.
Mark Martin a push.
I mean, let's be honest, we're going to have good races pretty much every Throwback Thursday. I don't think we've ever had a bad race. I mean, you guys get to vote on literally the classic races at each track every week. So I don't think we're ever going to have a shortage of good races on Throwback Thursday, which is another reason you should watch. This was a good one, though. I don't remember this race. What was... Darrell Waltrip singing in the booth. Lion King. Good looking burnout.
Yes, sir.
He is the king of burnouts.
That's the sweet sound of success in the Arizona desert. Kevin Harvick.
Smoke them.
Mister, where did he come from? Leads 10 laps. That's it. Final 10. He came out of
Fireworks up
nowhere.
the Arizona sky. Welcome to the sprint.
He had the fastest car the last 10 laps.
Fox, no drought in the desert.
And he caught him on a long green flag run, too. Out of really nowhere. I mean, he was in third. He was just quietly, like, third through sixth most of the race. Just
Richard Childress Racing, another great team.
never really struck until the very end.
The last 34 NASCAR manufacturers
I mean, Biffle ended up running out of gas anyway. He still had to catch it past Stewart. Stewart made it. That sucks, Mark Martin. Came back to third after his pit crew let him down, and then he runs out of gas too. That just sums up Mark Martin's career. He got Coca-Cola on the camera. And Matt Yoakum. He just hosed Matt
At one
Yoakum.
point, you were singing the Chicken Little song on the
Intentionally.
radio. Last year ran out of gas. This win means so much.
He owes Matt.
After all that's gone on in the last 38 races.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome for this GM Goodwin Chevrolet. We didn't ever give up. We didn't have the best car all day today, but we had the best car when it counted. And I accomplished my goal this morning. That was to spray you in the face with Coke.
You did. Did you think you were going to run out of gas? At one point, you said you were about a lap short.
Before all those cautions, we were about a lap short, but there at the end, everybody fell off so much, I was able to run dang near pace laps. So it was one of those things we were able to conserve gas. But I want to thank Sylvania, Coca-Cola, SKF, Emerson Technology, Sherwin-Williams.
A lot of motivation.
Team Realtree, GM Card, Reese's, Snap-on. I got everybody.
The one thing is, your car owner, he's in Africa. Should you just tell him to stay on safari?
All I know is while he's been gone, we're undefeated, so I don't know what that means. But this is credit to the whole race team. Everybody's worked hard in turning everything around, and we're still not.
Not a lap here. That was important.
Yeah, we led the right one, too, the last one.
Congratulations. Today, Burgery.
With Tony Stewart, tell us what happened with the tires that made you start all the way in the back.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. Something to do with, our tire guy had sent the truck driver to round up tires or whatever. But, with the fact that we all lease tires now, when they return those tires back to Goodyear, it was an accident. It was a set we qualified on, and they drill them. So you can't put air back in them. So once they had done that and everybody figured out what the mistake was, there was no way we could remedy the mistake, so we had to go to the back. But, it was a fair judgment by NASCAR because we didn't start on the set that we qualified on, so they had no choice but to put us to the back no matter what the mistake was. So, it just wasn't, we just didn't really think about it much. I mean, the whole team before the race were laughing, we're watching a hockey game on the TV, and all just giggling and laughing like nothing had happened. So, just really, really proud of this whole Home Depot team, and Monte Carlo SS they just took away from him my leaning post, but it just was good all night. I mean, we had to fight early in the day. We got really, really tight in the center of the corner and really loose off. So we just finally got over the top on that last adjustment, and Greg got away from us and got loose at the end.
Okay, Saturday night under the lights, from last to first, he finally finished second, Mike.
And he maintains his top 5 point position. Matt
Kansas
Kenseth,
leading it.
75%
Casey
of
Kane,
our
third in points.
poll was right. Changing the point
After,
lead.
what, 7
Yeah,
races?
just barely, but they were right.
Casey Beer's
Jimmy
still
John's
top
points are
10.
hanging close. But what an exciting
Fun
night,
to look
Larry.
at the
We
points
finally got
standings.
a
Finally
finish.
got
We
one.
finally got
This
one
class
without
of
caution
horses.
messing everything up, and it was exciting.
We had 3 Roush cars that had to pit for fuel. Fortunately, Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards was not one of them. That's the reason Matt Kenseth was able to take the points.
Jimmy
lead
lost the
back.
points
Great
lead,
run
too.
for the
He
rookie
came in
Clint
with the
Boyer.
lead.
He finishes
Kenseth
5th,
finished
Bobby Labonte
third.
up top 10.
Yeah, got 8.
And then
That's a good job
Jimmy
on these
Johnson
cars.
And all the
finished
Childress cars up there
I think
in
with
the top
everybody
10
running
was
out of
Jim
gas, I
Burton
think he
finishing
ended up 6th.
9th tonight.
Sterling Marlin, 13th. Brian Vickers, 14th.
And we'll send it to Chris and Jeff.
All right, Greg Biffle led the most laps.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that'll wrap up this Throwback Thursday live stream on the channel. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button again if you haven't done so already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. We'll have a NASCAR 06 live stream trying to go for a Busch Series championship with Kyle Busch. Second to last race of the year at Auto Club. We have failed to clinch the championship the last 3 races, and it's creeping down to the wire. We have a good shot of clinching it. We have to finish 31st or better to win the championship going into tomorrow's race, but Auto Club, one of my worst intermediate tracks on that game specifically, so you never know. I will see you guys then tomorrow night. Live commentary streams will be this weekend for the Xfinity and Cup Series. Truck Series is off at Phoenix. Again, Xfinity Series live commentary stream will start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our coverage on Saturday. And then Sunday afternoon at 3... I had that backwards. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday for the Xfinity Series race. Cup Series live commentary stream will be on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard start time, about 40-45 minutes before the drop of the green flag there. So we can get our late fantasy picks, late betting advice, and predictions for that one. Can't wait to see you guys for this weekend's coverage. Thanks for everybody tuning in today. I think this was the second most viewed live commentary, the second most viewed Throwback Thursday stream on the channel. So appreciate everybody coming out to watch tonight's stream. And then, again, be sure to vote in the community tab for next week's race. You don't want to miss your chance to vote for which race we watch next Thursday. It'll be an Atlanta Throwback, so you know it's going to be a classic. Atlanta had a lot of great races, so be sure to vote for your favorite of those in the community tab again on Monday. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And for those of you I won't see to the live commentary streams on Saturday and Sunday, I'll see you then. Have a good rest of your weekend. A good start to your weekend, I should say. And happy Thursday, everybody.